MAGA comes to talk. We will be live shortly, and we got a lot to cover today. Oh my goodness, do we ever? We got a lot to cover. The great story about Sunny Hostin, I can't wait to get to. The Gulf of America. We have like non-stop stories to cover today. Here we go. Of course, I'm wearing my Trump Butler shirt today. Welcome, Australia. Welcome to the stream, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Oh, man. Today's one of those days. There's so much to talk about. I can't wait to get on the air. We've got so much to cover, and we will be taking your calls. It is freezing in Florida. Here we go. It's the last commercial. Stand by. Here we go. 18 seconds.
Square Mall. Call any lab test now of Boca at 561-237-5009. Any lab test now of Coral Springs number is 954-906-5983. And don't forget to mention that you heard about them on the radio.
There we go.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show. Brian Craig.
Alrighty, welcome one and all. It is Wednesday, January 8th, 2025. My name is Brian Craig. This is Florida's longest running radio show, the Steve Kane Show. On the radio since 1977, celebrating 48 years on the radio starting this year. Wow, very exciting. Welcome, everyone. We've got a lot to cover. Did you guys see President Trump's Gulf of America speech yesterday? I'm going to break some of that down in just a bit because it was... Well, it wasn't a speech, it was a press conference. It was an epic press conference, and as confident as a person President Trump is, I've never seen him as confident as he was yesterday. We're going to break that down. There's an incredible story with Sunny Hostin on The View. Sunny Hostin's husband on The View may be going to prison, and she may be taken off the air. There's so many things to cover that I almost do not know where to begin. But I'll figure it out. And also, I do have a flight to LA scheduled today. My plan is to go to Los Angeles and spend the weekend with my daughter. And my flight leaves today and I'm scheduled to fly into LAX. And I woke up today. And I think a lot of you probably do this. The first thing I do when I wake up in the morning is grab my phone and check my text messages and stuff. And I got a bunch of text from my daughter. And the last text says, call me when you get up. And because of the 3-hour time difference and my daughter's a night owl, she's still up when I get up in the morning. So I looked at her text and then I called her. And then my wife woke up. And Los Angeles is on fire. It's on fire. It's burning. And Mike Rowe, the Dirty Jobs guy, Mike Rowe, my wife sent me. She texted me. She's laying next to me in bed, but she texted me a screenshot of Mike Rowe's Twitter. He just landed in LAX, and he's on X, and he's standing in front of a fire that's covering everything behind him. And my daughter sent me a screenshot I'm not sure what the screenshot was from. I looked at it again just a minute ago, but she has a screenshot showing all the fires in LA, right? And she said, all the cool places we're going to go to this weekend are on fire. She says, don't come, Dad. So I called her and she says, don't come. And I said, I'd like to come. My concern is, getting stuck in the fire. First I told my daughter, I said, well, I could probably get, this is how I think. I'm late in bed. I hadn't got out of bed yet. I said, I could probably get some really good YouTube videos. I might be able to go viral on a couple videos on YouTube if we come out there. And I filmed the fires. She says, don't come out. And I said, I don't know. I said, let me get up and watch the news and see what's going on, and which I did, and it's awful. So I'm going to let you guys, I know we've got people that are familiar with LA and are out in that area. Should I go to Los Angeles or not? I'd certainly like your thoughts. And my daughter, she was coming to Florida. We were going to go to Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Orlando a couple months back, and a hurricane hit Orlando. It was a pretty bad one, and it hit the day before that we were going to go there. But that area where Universal is floods like nobody's business, and so my daughter came here to South Florida and stayed with us. We didn't go. We're going to go there this year, this Halloween. We're going to go a little earlier, hopefully miss the hurricanes. And so I told my daughter, I said, we got all these natural disasters stopping us. We got the hurricane that hit Florida. Now we've got the fires in Southern California. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll decide when I get off the air today. But if any of you out there have any expertise and expert opinions on what I should do so far as flying in LA, my wife said, she says, well, what if you can't get out and you have to fly out of, Reno or something, or if you could even get there. So there is that possibility that I could get stuck. And I was listening to a lady whose house burned down on Fox, and she said, she was telling people, if you're scheduled to come to Los Angeles, do not come. She was yelling this on Fox News early this morning. So I'll let you guys decide. And I was watching, they have, though, in Los Angeles is in good hands. They have the first LGBTQ plus fire chief, and they've got the lesbian fire chief. I doubt she's the first, maybe the first chief, but maybe the first out of the closet. And she had posted what her goals are as the fire chief. It has nothing to do with putting out fires. She says her main agenda is creating, supporting, and promoting a culture that values diversity, inclusion, and equity while striving to meet and exceed the expectations of the communities. Those are her priorities, the LGBTQ plus LA fire chief. She says she's grateful to be able to serve the people of Los Angeles. Well, I was watching Fox early this morning, and I wanted to share this with you. This is crazy. This is a guy, he's there, and he's on the local Fox affiliate in California. With the internet and everything, I'm watching the local news out of LA this morning online on my television, because I'm trying to decide, am I going to go or not, And I was thinking, I said, if I cancel my flight and schedule a new one, I bet I can get a really cheap flight there. Much cheaper than I paid for this one. But this is a guy, he is in LA. He's covering this. This has been on the national news too.
They can't hire water, no resources that are needed. Everybody knew these winds were coming. The other question has to be, were all the things in place to try to, again, mitigate the damage here? But the real issue to me is twofold. We've had decades to go remove the brush in these hills that spreads so quickly. And the second is, we've got to have water. And my understanding is the reservoir was not refilled in time and in a timely manner to keep the hydrants going. So that's a failure, whether on DWP's part or another city agency.
Oh my goodness! So they don't have water pressure, so the fire hydrants aren't working. So the firefighters can't even attempt to put out these fires because they don't have any water.
Basic stuff. This isn't high science here. And it's all about leadership and management that we're seeing a failure of. And all of these residents are paying the ultimate price for that.
That was going to be my next question is why isn't there water in the fire hydrants? That doesn't make any sense.
You're right. That's a good question. And I think you should start asking, why don't you call the mayor who's out of the country and ask her and get an answer from her.
Well, they say she's on her way back, and that would be a great question.
Yeah, the mayor of Los Angeles is in Africa at some event over there.
And to ask her tomorrow if she's at this briefing at 8 o'clock in the morning, because I think there's a lot of people that are outraged by that fact tonight when they look at scenes like this of businesses that people have worked really, really, really hard to build and homes that people's entire livelihoods are going up in flames tonight. So
Okay, so that's that. I mean, it's looking pretty bad. So should I go or should I stay? Should I go to Los Angeles or not? The flight may get canceled without me canceling it. And I don't think there's any penalties for canceling it with something like this. I don't know. I've never canceled a flight for myself ever because I don't fly that much. I don't like flying. I bet I'd get a good view, though, when I'm flying into LA. I'd probably get a good view. I could get maybe a little viral YouTube video flying into LAX. So your thoughts on that are welcome. But I'm going to take our first break. I'll take some calls. But I am serious. I've not about whether or not I should go to Los Angeles because when hurricanes are coming to Florida, a lot of people that aren't Floridians, they panic. Florida's a big place. They think the whole state's getting wiped out, and it's not. You don't have to worry. You know, that's why my daughter was able to fly into Fort Lauderdale when the hurricane was hitting Orlando because it's such a big state. It's fine. So is it hype what's going on in LA, or is it okay to go, or is it not? I'd like your thoughts on that because I'm looking forward to seeing my daughter. And also, I'm going to get into this. Oh, today is the day you do want to watch The View. We're going to talk about that. Sonny Hostin's husband may be going to prison. For Rico, yes. Yeah. And, of course, we're going to talk about President Trump's Gulf of America press conference yesterday at Mar-a-Lago and a whole bunch more. All right. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Hey, it's Scott Shannon, one of the DJs here at the True Oldies channel. Hope you're enjoying the Kane Show with Brian. And we want to remind you that at 10 this morning, the oldies are back. The greatest hits of the 60s and 70s right here on the True Oldies channel.
All year we offer same-day AC service and installation. Really stay cool? Yes, all year. Need help today? Yes, all year. Zero down financing? Yes, all year. Call us today at 833 all year. That's 833 all year.
Brian Craig here. If you're a homeowner, business owner, or with a homeowners association,
I guess. Oh my gosh, that's exciting.
you need to call Tom LaPorta.
Yeah.
With a AAA credit rating and bonded up to $10
Oh my goodness.
LaPorta
Scott Shannon just said my name. I'll talk about it when we get back, before we get to the calls.
Typical deposits other contractors want are 1/3 of the contract. If
It's
your
like a big
job is
deal.
$30,000, that's a $10,000 deposit. If your job is $300,000, that's $100,000.
If you're on hold, hang in there.
What are you doing with your money? Typically, it takes 3 to 4 weeks to get a permit, and HOAs much longer. If they need money for the materials, they don't have credit with the suppliers, and that spells bad news for the homeowner or HOA. Tom LaPorta is honest.
All right, stand by.
and reliable, and he'll
We'll be
never
back right
sell
after this.
you don't need. LaPorta Contracting has been in the roofing and contracting business since 1988, and his services cover the east and west coast of Florida and everywhere in between. Tom LaPorta can handle any type of roofing job too. Residential roofing and repair, commercial roofs, schools, municipal buildings, office buildings, emergency repairs. If it's roofing, Tom LaPorta can do it. Call Tom LaPorta right now on his cell phone, 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. And online, LaPortaContracting.com.
Now back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM
All right. Welcome back, one and all. You know, there's certain moments when you're in this kind of business that are like, oh wow, I've made it kind of moments, and this is one of those. I was shocked. Did you hear Scott Shannon said my name during the break? Right, the Kane Show with Brian. Oh, said half my name. That's a big deal. For those that don't know who Scott Shannon is, he's the big guy here on our radio station, but he's also does the voiceover for Sean Hannity's radio show. Sometimes you'll hear Scott Shannon and Hannity going back and forth on the radio show. So the fact that Scott Shannon uttered my name, well, half of it, that's like a big deal. That's a big deal. He knows who I am. All right, if you're on hold, hang in there. We're going to go to the calls. I am going to cover all these political issues, but the Gulf of America, Sunny Hostin, and all the rest. But I do want to seriously hear your thoughts about whether I should go or stay so far as going to Los Angeles today when I get off the air. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning. This is
Hey, Richie.
This guy, Richie. Listen, I've watched this thing since 3 o'clock in the afternoon into the night. There are people that were on the ground. Brian, I'm not going to make excuses for the mayor and the water. There's no way anybody. You could put the New York Fire Department in there. You can't put a fire out in a hurricane. The embers are blowing all over the place. The winds are up to 80 miles an hour. And if you go, you're crazy because first of all, it's spreading. It's out of control right now. It's totally out of control. It's heading right towards the ocean, down Sunset Strip, whatever. But it's the winds and to fly into winds like that. No.
Yeah, you know, the one thing I was listening to them because you know I've been up since about 1:30 and I've been watching the news all morning live from LA, and the helicopters. The big ones with the two props, like the military ones, can't dump the water, whatever they dump on the fires, because they can't target it because the winds are so strong.
Winds are so strong. The embers, they're talking about embers that are more than a mile away from the fires, and they're catching the spot fires all over the place.
Well, you say you're not gonna, listen. I've been watching the local news out of California today mostly. Okay, and I have seen multiple people, both media and just people that are escaping on the news, blame all of the local officials for not cleaning up the brush and all this other stuff. These Democrats in California are very much responsible for the spreading.
But this is a different fire than the brush ones. They were just talking about that before I was waiting for you to come on. They're saying that this particular one is actually going to Brentwood into the communities that never did before. They're used to the ones in the hills with the brush, but these are going right through business areas that have never been touched before. I'm telling you.
And I got it. Yeah, but I could go viral on YouTube. I mean, think about the videos I'd get. MAGA covering the fires of LA.
They showed the planes going in and out of. You could see them from the distance, and the fire in the background. And I tell you, there's no way. I'm not a flying person, and you aren't either. I would tell you, I wouldn't take a chance going there like that, like this. To me, it's dangerous.
I'd be shocked if JetBlue doesn't cancel the flight.
Don't go. I was going to text you. And I didn't know whether you would have appreciated it. I was going to say, Brian, don't go there. You just what's going on there. It's out of control as we speak.
Yeah. I don't know if I can get her to come home. See, I wanted to. I was looking to fly into, because my flight is into LAX, but I was looking to maybe get a flight into John Wayne, which is in Anaheim, and but I can't get a direct flight into there, and it would take me like 9 hours to fly there.
I don't know her location, but they said the whole Palisades is up in smoke. Now Brent was going. So the whole Pacific Highway is up in that area. I believe that's just north of LA, downtown LA, but it's going pretty bad. I mean, yeah. Take a chance to do it. You do what you want. As somebody that knows it, I feel you're a friend of mine. I wouldn't go. No.
Yeah, it's a lot of times like here when we have hurricanes and the people that are new to Florida, don't understand, and they go and they hang out on the beach in the evacuation zones. They have no idea how stupid that is. And I see new Floridians or tourists do all kinds of stupid things during hurricanes.
The people are crying. The one lady said, "Can you please save my house?" As the thing, I've seen a fire engine there was actually had water trying to douse the house with water. The houses right next to it were on fire. They were just trying to prevent, but it's impossible because the embers are all over the place.
Yeah, these fires out there. I just saw an interview recently with Michael Madsen. He's an actor. He was in Reservoir Dogs and a few other movies. And his son took his own life. And then the fires came and burned down his whole house. And then his mother died right after that. I mean, I don't understand why people buy these mansions and everything where all the fires are always coming.
Now, they got one up on the hill overlooking the ocean. They showed it on Google Earth. And this has no woods around it, okay? This house has caught fire, something like 15, 16 million. The house looked like a hotel.
Yeah.
And it's going up in flames. I'm telling you, you do what you want.
Yeah, the reason I'm asking, because a lot of times the news hypes things up. So,
where are the people going that are losing their homes? They have to evacuate. I bet you that airport is packed with people sleeping there because there's nowhere to go.
Well, I saw one guy on Fox, this early morning guy on Fox, he was about to cause a panic. He said that they have this one road where they've stopped. Like, this is where you can't be beyond this road. He says if the fire skips that road, it's an apocalypse. And he's screaming on Fox News, it's an apocalypse. Like, calm down, dude. I mean, you're not supposed to cause a panic.
My God, you don't have to. It's an inferno. There's a lady there, photographer. She's called the photo fire lady or something.
A photo fighter lady.
All these fires. She's a professional photographer. And she was videoing this, and she was in the middle of it. I'm telling you, I never seen anything like it. It looked like a pizza oven that was just blasting.
Yeah.
Oh, the streets, you couldn't see in front of your face. All you saw was red and flames.
Yeah.
Like hell on earth.
Yeah.
Pretty bad.
Well, this screenshot, I was leaving. I was going to be off tomorrow and Friday as the skit. I didn't,
Say the winds are going to come down. It's going to be windy all day today too. And
my plan was to leave today and then fly back on Sunday.
Well, you want to get time out there, but the winds is not going to come down till Friday.
Oh my goodness! All right, I appreciate. All right, Richie, I'll consider that. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
The thing you got to do is you got to have your daughter fly out of there and come here. You go to Orlando. You go to Gay Days, and you take your estrogen pill so your man boobs are all pumped up. All your old friends at the rest stop.
I go to Gay Days.
In Orlando.
Gay Days? No, I don't go to Gay Days.
Since day one.
I've never gone to a gay day. Are you kidding?
The whole Orlando is all queer.
Yeah? How do you know?
You'll have fun there. You'll have fun. Get your daughter to come. You go to the tranny show. Yeah, look at all the trannies and the freaks and the weirdos, and it'll be fun,
You let me tell you, you're calling people weird. Do you listen to yourself?
You're not going to have any fun if you go to L.A. It's burning down. Let it start all over again with a bunch of better people in there.
All right. Okay, yeah, all right. They're evil. They're weird. But you're not. You're normal. You're normal.
They could get James Wood, and they can get...
I think James Woods lost his house.
I hope not. He's a good guy.
Unlike you.
He's a good guy.
No, I love James Woods. He's awesome.
John Boyd. They can get John Boyd. If Huck sends the military in there, just get those two out of there. James Woods and John Boyd. They're the only ones.
All right. There we go. Oh, my goodness. There we go. Right at the end. Just boom. All right. We had to use the delay. Had to use the dump button. All right. If you're on hold, hang in there. Oh, my goodness. No, they used to do gay days at Disney. I never went to the gay days at Disney. Although the radio station I worked at sent an expedition of people who went to the gay days at Disney. And I remember when they came back, they said they went to the gay days at Disney, and they called the Magic Kingdom. I did not go. They called the Magic Kingdom the Magic Condom. Epcot Center, they had a nickname for that I'm not going to, you can figure that one out. And there were some other ones too. All right, if you're on hold, hang in there. That was a strange man I was just speaking to. We'll be right back.
Making morning radio great again. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Now every day is gay. They don't do the gay days anymore probably because every day is that. Welcome everyone. Pretty sure that's right. But I want to remember his voice. Weird, yeah. He was an old guy. I'm not sure he'd still be alive.
Eastern principles and Western luxury. The four-story office spires like nothing you've experienced before. Hydrophone water therapy, hot and cold pools, steam sauna room, inhalation soft liquor chamber, and Arctic chill fountains, all designed to detox and relax. All located on a picture-perfect impressive facilities and ocean resort. Facing body treatments, including reflexology and massage. Explore all of our offers at AmritOcean.com. That's AMRITOcean.com.
Brian Craig here. Our 6th annual cruise is coming up, and you're all invited. This time,
No, there's no blinds on that window. Somebody asked if there's blinds. There's no blinds on that. There's blinds on the windows outside, but not on the window behind me.
we set sail March 30th. We have private shore excursions, private cocktail parties, group activities. We're going to go to the shows together and much, much more. Call in at Cruise and Travel Depot right now. 561-244-5779. 561-244-5779. And online at cruisingdepot.com to make your reservation and lock in.
Oh, it was beautiful. Al Gore had to do the same thing.
Cruises.
All right.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 48 years on the air.
All right, callers on hold, stand by. I'll take another call or two before I get into the issues. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, good morning. Mark, Jupiter.
Hey, Mark, what's up?
Hey, listen, I lived out there for a lot of years, back when I was in the Marine Corps. I've talked to you before. Listen, life's short. I would head out there. Unless the airlines will not allow it, I would go out there. LA covers a huge footprint.
Yeah.
This is tragic, no doubt about it. But, it's definitely a ratings grab, and it's great for TV and everything like that. It's sad for the people that have to go through it. But the other thing is, and then I'll jump off the air, who starts these fires? There's no lightning right now out there. We never talk about that.
Yeah. Like here in Florida, we have a lot of fires in the Everglades. You don't hear about them because nobody lives out there but gators and stuff. But they're usually started by lightning strikes. And yeah.
Absolutely. So you just start to wonder sometimes, who's starting these fires and why, or what's going on out there. They never, ever tell you. I feel like when it's all said, they're just focused on the damage and everything else.
That's right.
Okay?
All right, I take care. So I've got 500 people say don't go, and one says go. So I'm not sure. But, all right, so there's a lot to cover. Your thoughts on whether or not I should go to Los Angeles today certainly are welcome on the program today still. But I want to bring up a couple of other things. I want to talk. I've got so many things to cover. Oh boy. You know what? Let me talk about the Sunny Hostin story first. I've got so much to cover today that I can't even begin to describe. I have so many stories. Sunny Hostin on The View. She is a nasty, nasty woman. She's always calling out President Trump. She thinks he's a criminal. She thinks he should be in prison. She's a hardcore racist. And now her husband is possibly going to go to prison. Listen to this. This is the headline. Sunny Hostin's surgeon husband accused of insurance fraud in bombshell lawsuit. One thing about this guy that surprised me is how he looks. Sunny Hostin's not too bad looking. She's not bad looking. She's inside. She's ugly. She's just an ugly person on the inside, but she's not a bad looking woman. And her husband is kind of a dorky looking, very unattractive guy. The longtime husband of View co-host Sunny Hostin, this is in the Daily Mail, is starting the new year under a cloud after being accused of federal insurance fraud. See, she has been out of control with her anger towards Trump. And now I think we know why. She's been directing her anger towards her husband towards Trump. That's how all these creeps are. They're really speaking about themselves. And I find it hard to believe she had no knowledge of what her husband was up to. Her husband is an orthopedic surgeon. He's among nearly 200 defendants that's been named in one of the largest RICO cases ever filed in New York. And New York, because of the mob and everything, that's where RICO was born. They've had some of the biggest RICO cases ever in New York, and this one is close to setting the record. Sunny Hostin's husband and many others are accused of getting kickbacks by performing surgery and fraudulently billing a company that insures taxi companies, Uber and Lyft drivers. So this sounds like he's been doing unnecessary surgeries. And I'm here to tell you, one of the biggest violations a surgeon could make is to cut into a healthy patient that doesn't need surgery. That is a huge violation. It says here her husband knowingly provided fraudulent medical and other healthcare services, including arthroscopic surgeries. The insurance firm American Transit was billed in exchange for kickbacks and or other compensation, which were disguised as dividends or other cash distributions. Her husband's attorney said his client denies each and every allegation. Oh boy, you think Sunny's going to be on TV today? Or is she going to take the day off? What do you guys think? Sunny Hostin has been married to the doctor for about 25 years. They met at church. And remember, she's a lawyer. She used to be a prosecutor. Let's see if there's anything else here. A lot of personal stuff about her. Sunny Hostin has been one of the nastiest people on television, in the media, on The View, going after Trump. And anyone connected to him. I mean, she's just been vile about it. I mean, just vile. And now we find out that her husband is being charged with some pretty heavy charges in one of the largest RICO cases in history. She very well may get fired for this. You know, The View may end. It's a poison program that's always been really on life support, so far as whether or not it was going to continue. But let me tell you, this is one of the biggest low-life, scummy things a doctor can do with the things he was doing. Not just, you know, and you know what's crazy to me about this insurance fraud and cutting it and doing unnecessary surgeries and all this? I'm very curious about this because they're rich. They're both millionaires in their own, you know. Sunny Hostin is loaded. Why would someone who's so wealthy already be committing such a high-risk crime? I don't know. Is it just greed, or are they jammed up in something else? You know, from my experience, I've known people that are professionals. I'm not saying this is true in this case because I know nothing. I'm just talking about people I've known. I've known people in my life who were professionals who had some issues. I knew of one person who was a doctor who went to prison for some insurance fraud. And I've known some other professionals that have gotten jammed up legally, attorneys and stuff. And out of the people that I've known, this is just people I've known. I'm not talking about Sunny Hostin's husband. I know nothing about this case other than what I just read in the Daily Mail. I'm talking about people I've known, you know. And the doctor that I was talking about, and I've heard of other doctors like this too, and lawyers, every single person that I've known that's run into these problems, in particular the fraudulent billing, and lawyers get into financial problems too with billing with their clients and the trust accounts and everything. In every instance, they were a drug addict. Every instance. Yeah, that's that. I've known more than one doctor in my life personally. Acquaintances, not close friends, acquaintances, like friends of friends. You know, same thing with the lawyers that have gotten jammed up with things like this. Doctors with the insurance thing, every instance, drugs, every instance. The lawyers too. The lawyers, you kind of expect it because the lawyers I've known that have gotten jammed up have been criminal defense attorneys, and they deal with criminals so much, they lose they lose touch with reality, and they get involved in that. And I did, when I was younger, I did some, when I was first on the air, I didn't make that much money, you know, when I was board hopping and stuff. I worked as a courier for multiple attorneys, and I didn't do that very long because it was so scummy when I was meeting clients and things that I had to do. Like sometimes I'd have to go and pick up evidence, and you know. I remember one time I had to sometimes I'd have to, I was a courier, right? So they had to, sometimes you got to deliver papers to a client. And I remember one time I delivered these papers to a client, and they said, hey, can you look inside the window of that car parked out there and then come back and let us know if you see anybody? I said, no, why don't you go do it? They're always trying to get you to do crime. But I met some doctors that way who were involved in some things like this. Every single time it was drugs. Same goes for the lawyers. Every single time. And when it's not just greed. I mean, greed can be involved too, and people can have expensive lifestyles and everything, but it's mostly the drugs. And from the people I've known personally and have had encounters with, I'm not talking about this case, but you got to ask yourself, why is someone who is wealthy, who's married to a wealthy woman, why are they doing such a high-risk crime and involved in such a criminal conspiracy? I don't know. To me, it doesn't make sense unless there's something else going on. And then the other question is, how much does Sonny Hostin know? And I'm here to tell you, I've been married 28 years. My wife knows everything I do, every moment of every day. And it's not that I'm on some leash. It's just when you're married a long time, you just know. You got a connection. You know everything. I know everything she's doing. You just know. You can tell when something's up. There's no way that, in my opinion, that Sonny Hostin could not know at least something was going on with her husband. I just find that impossible to believe. The wives know better than we husbands. Okay? So will she be on today? This is one day that you might want to check The View out, right? It comes on around 11 a.m. Eastern. You might want to check it out today just to see if Sonny's there, or is she on a scheduled day off. All right, if you're on hold, hang in there. I want to talk about Joe Thomas. Joe Thomas, by the way, Joe Thomas is going to stop in later on the program today. So many people here in Florida, we have the oldest population, and we have so many retirees here. And every retiree you meet is different, right? Remember that guy that called yesterday, 94 years old? He's driving an Uber. I said, are you doing that because you need the money? He's like, no, I don't know about that. You see a lot of people, you go to Publix, you see the old men baggers and all that stuff. Regardless of what those guys tell you, it's tough. They're working because they need the money, okay? People that work at Publix, people driving Uber that are older, because, you try to plan your retirement on your own. There's so many things you cannot factor in. As an example, look at what's happening to retirees with these new condo assessments that DeSantis is doing nothing about. They got to come up with boatloads of money for these condo assessments. They're selling condos. They're losing money. The inflation. There's just so many things as a layman that you cannot factor into your retirement plans. I've talked to Joe Thomas about this a lot. I'm at the age now where a lot of friends of mine are retiring. And and most of them do the same thing. They know what their monthly bills are. They call it their well, I don't know if I can say that on the air, but they know what they got to have every month to pay their bills. And like, okay, I can retire. I just need this amount of money. Well, that's what you need now. But what are you gonna need in 20 years? What are you gonna need in 30 years? People are living a long time these days. What you need each month to get by now is not what you're going to need in 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And that's where Joe Thomas comes in. He offers free phone consultations that you can take advantage of no matter where you are in the United States. You want to call him. Tell him what your situation is, what your goals are, what you're thinking, and he'll give you a custom proposal based on you and your goals and your situation. Here's his number, 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. And if you missed that number, just go to his website, jupiterjoe.com. If you're on hold, hang in there. We'll be right back.
Truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
Saturday, January 18th at 7:30 at the Sunrise Theater, Fort Pierce. McDonald, with his full production band and dancers, will pay tribute to the life and music of the king of rock and roll. At the Sunrise Theater, Fort Pierce. Call the box office at 772-461-4775 or go to sunrisetheater.com. Thank you very much.
This is Steve Kane. I want to tell you about my favorite restaurant in all of South Florida, Wings Plus in Coral Springs. Wings just the way you like them. Plump, tender, and delicious, crispy.
If you're new, make sure you subscribe, guys.
Inside, everything homemade, nothing comes out of a can. Dozens of specialty sauces that will make your mouth water. Wings Plus, located in Coral Springs, a mile west of University on the south side of Sample Road.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
Indeed it is. We are back. 1-888-465-2631 is our number. It's a toll-free call, no matter where you are listening. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yeah, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brother Brian, IB. Boy, you said it finally, that stunning house, and I always used to think what you said. I've met a lot of unattractive ladies, and then when they start talking and you get to know them, they're so beautiful in the inside. And then, it changes what they look like on the outside in a way. If you weren't attracted to them, they become...
Really? You sure you weren't drinking? You mean you have met women... Wait, hold on. This is interesting. You've met women that are ugly, but you've had a conversation, and then you find that they're beautiful.
Understanding, we're talking about the inside. Sonny Hostin looks kind of attractive on the outside, but soon as they open their mouth, start talking, they start to look very ugly to you because of the inside.
Oh, yes.
The sort of girl that wasn't attractive in the beginning, as if you want to call.
Ah, I see.
You see what I mean? Yeah, but I'm glad it happened because we don't know how much this guy is charging these insurance companies, and supposedly these people are uninsured, a lot of them. So I didn't even know the case was already an open case. So I kind of love the fact that it's already there. But unlike all of the mistractions they do for making slanders and false statements, she can't redo this one because she said it herself on her View channel that her husband operates on people without insurance and he has to go and fight the insurance company. That's it. That is RICO. That is RICO.
Well, she has been so nasty towards President Trump and with all these cases and everything, and her anger really has not been rational. And I'm just wondering, how long has she known about her husband's crimes that he's being accused of? And is that why she was in such meltdown mode and out of control towards President Trump the last year?
But the woman already lost her brain when she compared January 6th to the Holocaust and World War II. I mean, just that statement alone, January and 9/11, it's ridiculous already. I mean, have you ever seen the videos that Elon Musk kind of like trolls the people from MSNBC, CNN, and he fires them? And he did one with The View. He's actually going to buy.
The View is owned by ABC. It's part of ABC. You can't buy The View unless he buys ABC. There was one meme video that Elon Musk tweeted yesterday on X. It was hilarious. It was a reenactment of January 6th, and it was that scene at the end of Titanic where Rose goes to heaven and she walks into it. Was you got to see it. I can't really describe it to do it justice, but it was very good. Yeah.
You see the one where Elon fires all the ladies from The View.
I'll look that.
It's hilarious.
I'll look for that one. All right, take care. All right, IB. All right, appreciate the call. You're on the air. See the sign of a chronic caller is they always have one more thing at the end, right? When they get to that one more thing, that's when you got it. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, how are you? Yes, my name is Javier.
Yes.
No?
Okay.
I was wondering in regards to the fire in California. Following these fires for a really long time, and since the 90s. It turns out that 9 out of 10 fires, they are caused by arsonists. And I don't know if you have been following, but Siberia was set on fire. Australia was set on fire. All these are deliberate fires done by the communists to actually promote some sort of, if you believe in global warming, I don't believe that cars cause global warming, but deliberate fires around the world that are taking place all over, and this has been happening for such a long time that is actually, eventually all those fires that creates carbon,
Well, usually, and see, in California, I don't know about Siberia, but, and here in the United States, most fires that are like out in nature, which is how these ones in California, if it's either, it's one of two things, a lightning strike or arson. And they've had no rain and lightning in California, and it's been cold out there because my daughter was telling me I got to bring some warm clothes to go out there today with. So, I mean, I see a fire like this with no lightning or anything, and of course everybody thinks arson, but they don't, California, they don't care to really find out the root of what causes these devastating fires.
Root was, I mean, you only see them in the news when it's actually, like you said, lightning or some of that sort of.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a study, it's long gone, about the fire department of California that stated that 9 out of 10 fires were caused by arson.
That's right.
Think about it. Yes. So, these things actually create, I mean, if you go to a place where it's nice and foresty, and there's forests, it's cooler,
Mm-hmm.
They're creating havoc. This obviously creates havoc in the atmosphere and in the weather,
Yeah.
And that there is fires in California. It's like nonstop rain in Florida. And I've been following this for a long time. I used to own an advertising agency in Nicaragua, and the weather outside was very important for productions,
Mm-hmm.
to follow. And then I said, wait a second, I started putting 1 + 1 is 2, and I realized that all these fires, they never said what caused them. And then I realized that these people also, what they do is they cut forests and they sell wood illegally in Nicaragua, where they
Mm-hmm.
and they destroy. That actually creates some sort of warming in the planet.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, I appreciate the call. Take care. I appreciate. Yes, it's some good stuff. He's right. They never really tell us the root cause. Here in Florida, they do. Like I say, when the Everglades are on fire, it's most every single time that I can remember been lightning strikes, and it because we got that's just the kind of climate we have. But out in California, you never know. Now I want to talk about Dr. Appleton and his laser away pain treatment. I've lost track. My wife she did a new count yesterday and told me that Dr. Appleton has rid me of pain 7 times. I've been saying 6. She says it's 7 because I forgot about one of my injuries that I had. Yeah. So Dr. Appleton has rid me of pain 7 times. The frozen shoulder, that's the 7th. And the frozen shoulder, I don't know how that came about. And I was really, Dr. Appleton is amazing. When he before he was a doctor, he was a physical therapist. He has an understanding about pain and the body that just most doctors don't have. And I was talking about this last shoulder injury because when I don't really care what it is or how I got it. I just need the pain to stop because I'm in so much pain. And as I was, and I was feeling better, of course, because he treated me with the laser away pain treatment. So I said, "What is it? What happened?" And he said, he says it's frozen shoulder. He said when you moved your arm, what'd the pain feel like? I said it was like a really sharp, intense pain. I wanted to fall on the ground. He said like a bolt of electricity, real quick, and then it stopped. He said, yeah, it's frozen shoulder. And I don't know how many of you. He told me. It's most common with women. Men can get it. It's more common with women. I did some reading online about it, and most say that they don't know what causes it. But if any of you have frozen shoulder, oh man, it's another pain. I am learning about new pains all the time because I guess I'm getting older and getting into things. But he rid me of pain now 7 times. 7 times, not 6. I lost track. The frozen shoulder is the 7th time, which is absolutely amazing. Yeah, and it really shows you his laser away pain treatment works. And he's treated me for so many different types of pain in different parts of my body, and it works. There's no downtime. The laser treatment is 100% painless, which is amazing. There's no shots, no injections. Dr. Appleton performs all the treatments himself, not an assistant. Appointments are not necessary, and walk-ins are welcome. Now, I know a lot of you come in from out of town, even out of state, from all over the country to see Dr. Appleton. While walk-ins are welcome, even if you're traveling, if you're coming from out of town or out of state, even though appointments are not necessary, you can make them. So if you're coming from far away and you want to make an appointment, you can make an appointment, and it's a free consultation with Dr. Appleton. Okay, a free consultation. Here's Dr. Appleton's number, all right? Give him a call and say bye-bye to your pain. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonChiro.com. All right, we're going to break shortly for the top of the hour. I am going to switch gears at the top of the hour because there are a lot of other stories that I want to cover. However, you're welcome to call in about anything I brought up so far on the program, even when I get into some new things. Ron DeSantis has not said who he's going to appoint to replace Marco Rubio in that Senate seat, but he said, right out the gate, he said the H-1B visas, their position on that is like the most important thing. Ron DeSantis is planning on running for president against J.D. Vance in 4 years. And this HB visa thing that a lot of MAGA people have been getting involved in lately for some strange reason, I'm starting to wonder if they're trying to cozy up to DeSantis because they think he may have a comeback. But make no mistake about it, Ron DeSantis plans on running for president against J.D. Vance. Who would you vote for? J.D. Vance or Ron DeSantis? Now, J.D. Vance, he's got 4 years to show what he can do, but it's going to be J.D. Vance over Ron DeSantis. You can't trust Ron DeSantis. How can you trust Ron DeSantis after what he did? I'm sorry. All right, we'll take our break for the top and get into some of the other issues because there are a lot. Our number is toll-free 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you're listening. 888-465-2631. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 48 years on the radio. My name's Brian Craig. We'll be back with your calls and more right after this.
Wait, hold on. Let Sonny get in here. I mean, I agree with mostly everything that's been said. I mean, we know that, only about 31% of Americans.
The opposite of bite, it's ours.
I think the whole country, even unless you're like stupid woke, I hope you're not, but it is Hollywood.
Somewhat stupidly woke.
Okay. The whole country was like, I think the biggest issue for the election, one of the biggest ones, was Democrats pointlessly, totally just punted on immigration and let anybody who wanted to walk in for 3.5 years did. And You know.
Well, I think they would probably disagree. The people walking in probably felt like it was a little harder.
No, actually, there's a great 60 Minutes piece on it where the border. I mean, you don't get 8 million people here by making it difficult. But there's they just. I mean, you see they're walking through, and that water guys are just watching them do it. They're just watching them walk past. You never saw that?
I did not see that.
See, that doesn't get in the liberal media. That's the problem, is the bubbles we live in. I think I had it right. Like, that kind of stuff is what lost the election for the Democrats. It's in all...
Maybe part of it? I don't know. I think a lot...
they have polling on it.
Well, I think it's inflation. I think Americans hate inflation.
That's certainly
They hate
part of it.
inflation, they hate riots, and they hate black women, and they hate trans people.
God, John, we're not
Dude,
gonna...
they just spent hundreds of millions
They
of dollars
don't hate
demonizing
black-
trans people. And that's disgusting.
Yeah,
That
we
is-
shouldn't talk politics.
Okay, we shouldn't.
I
We
mean,
shouldn't. Great. We don't have to.
I'm just queuing some things up.
If you go back, 4 years ago, right?
I'm just queuing some stuff up for later. All right, we are back. Hour number 2 has begun. 4 minutes after the hour. It's Wednesday, January 8th. I'm scheduled to fly to Los Angeles today when I get off the air. And now it's on fire. So I'm not too sure if I'm going to go or not. We've been talking about that a little bit. Sunny Hostin's husband being charged with RICO crimes. But I also want to talk about some things that went on with President Trump and others today, which we're going to cover on the program. I'll take a call or two first, and then I'll start to get into some of this newer stuff, because a lot has happened in the last day that's got to be talked about. In fact, so many balls up in the air, it's hard for me to focus on which one I want to focus on. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Cassandra.
Oh, hey, Doug.
Man, I'll tell you, first of all, I want to thank you. Yesterday, when I couldn't call in, but when you talked to that Democrat, and you did the best job you've ever done on trying to let him understand Democrats is not what he should be. So you always do a good job, but yesterday you did the best I've ever seen, man. That was fantastic. Anyway, going to California, it's a dangerous thing to do. But then you may get there, you may not be able to get back. They may shut everything down.
Yeah, that's what my wife said.
Yeah, that's what I would be worried about.
Yeah, but how exciting if on Monday morning I'm stranded in LA, I could broadcast from LA. That'd be exciting. Wouldn't that be exciting if I lived through it?
I don't know if I'd like to go to some place where it's a disaster zone, but I don't know what's going on in LA, but
yeah,
like that.
It's what I think about is that you ever see that there was a book written about it that they later made into a movie, but I read the book first. Into the Air, about that idiot that went to Alaska to never be seen again. He thought he could trek through Alaska, and he ended up dead. They made a whole movie about it. I don't want to be like that in LA. LA is dangerous enough.
But I feel in the city, maybe I don't know where you're going to be staying, but if it's in the city, maybe you're safe. But at the suburbs, man, I'd be careful. I don't. Guys, stay home.
All right. Take care, Doug. Now, I wanted to talk before we get into Trump. I want to talk about Zuckerberg. Facebook. Zuckerberg came out yesterday with this shocking announcement. I know he was at Mar-a-Lago and met with President Trump. Let me play some of it if you missed this. Oh, hold on. Let me cue it up here.
Hey, everyone. I want to talk about something important today. because it's time to get back to our roots around free expression on Facebook and Instagram. I started building social media to give people a voice.
Okay, now the thing about Zuckerberg, I still stand by this, by the way. I think Zuckerberg's deep state. I've always thought that since Facebook came around. And the first time I heard of Facebook was during the Natalie Holloway thing in Aruba, okay? And because they had pictures of her from Facebook, and I remember Geraldo was covering it in Aruba for Fox, and nobody really knew what Facebook was. I remember this like it was yesterday. Geraldo said, they showed some photos of her in Aruba showing her, Natalie Holloway having a good time. He said, this is from her Facebook.com profile. And then Geraldo said, Facebook, it's kind of like MySpace, but you've got to invite people to join to be able to see your content. So nobody knew what Facebook was at the time. And they knew what MySpace was. And probably a lot. Are you familiar with MySpace, Mike? Mike, vaguely. You know, MySpace has been gone for years. And I suspect Facebook, they're never going to share this with us. I think Facebook is fading away. I think Facebook is going the way of MySpace. And Facebook, and I'll play more of what Zuckerberg said in a minute, because it's important. And Joy Reid has put some of her venomous poison and input it on what he said, which I may share. But if it were not for Facebook, Donald Trump may not have become the president. Facebook and Twitter. And the first time, Facebook was how the Tea Party began, and it began through Facebook groups. I'm not going to go through the whole story, but conservatives for the first time organized as a movement and formed the Tea Party, which was a grassroots movement through Facebook groups. And that led to MAGA. And President Trump even said Facebook and Twitter, this is what he said when he was campaigning the first time. He says, I love Facebook and Twitter. It's like having a network, your own television network without the overhead. And he said many times, I heard President Trump say many times, I would not have gotten elected if it wasn't for Twitter and Facebook. And I knew when he said that they were going to clamp down on it. And many of you probably found me in this program through Facebook. We used to live stream on Facebook Live before I was doing YouTube and stuff. We had a group on Facebook called the Liberty Eagle. And there were some other guys that did radio shows. We shared this group, and we had more than 1 million people watching live every day, all the time. It was not unusual. The record was, I can't remember now, 6 to 8 million was our record of one day. The week of Trump's first election, we had 6 to 8 million. Watching, by the way, not throughout a day, at the same time. And we were breaking 1 million every day, 3 million, 4 million. And this is when we were at our studio in Coral Springs over by Wings Plus. And we had millions a day, just on Facebook Live. And all of us that had that group and live stream from it, we were doing just what I'm doing now. I wasn't doing anything different there than I was now. But the Facebook fact checkers just took the group away. I don't remember how many members there were of the group, but they took the group away. It was big. And you know what? It was crazy talking to 6 million people, over 1 million each day at the same time. They were in the room at the same time. We were beating the cable news. And I'm not exaggerating. And those of you that were around during the Liberty Eagle days know what I'm talking about. And Facebook is just gotten out of control. And they clamped down so much, and so many people have abandoned Facebook. I don't trust Zuckerberg. Okay? And I think what Zuckerberg is doing here is in my opinion, is out of desperation to save Facebook so that it doesn't go the way of MySpace. That's what I think he's doing here. So I don't trust him at all. Now, I'm going to take our break. When we get, if you're on hold, hang in there. I will take calls on this, but I want to play more of what Zuckerberg had to say. Now, I do have a Facebook group, which, and Steve and I both have. I have a Facebook group for me and one for Steve. You can look up the Brian Craig Show, the Steve Kane Show. We both have Facebook groups, and I'm pretty active on Facebook. Not as active as I was when we had 6 million people watching at the same time, but I'm still active on Facebook. So you can join both Steve's group and my group on Facebook. Search the Steve Kane Show, the Brian Craig Show. They're two separate groups. But there was one day on my group, the Brian Craig Show group, I had, because of this other Liberty Eagle group, I don't remember how many followers I had at that group when this happened, but I mean, hundreds of thousands. It was a big group, because I was getting so many people from the Liberty Eagle group that were the millions that were watching us every day. And I was updating my group one evening, and Facebook just kicked out all the members, every one of them. I couldn't believe it, right in real time, and it happened while I was on the page, so I could tell there was somebody just was doing it, and it was these left-wing lunatics that were running Facebook. And I remember I was taking calls after. It was almost 4 years ago, this week or next week. It was after January 6th when Trump had been deplatformed from everything. And people were calling every day that were just leaving Facebook. They were so, Twitter too. And there was one, I remember one guy called, he said that him and everybody he knows, they had this big group, a big MAGA group. They all deleted their accounts at the same time, like in a pact. It was weird. But that was a trend that was going on 4 years ago because of the way they were treating Trump. And I do not use Facebook other than my Facebook group. Okay, so if there's anyone on Facebook other than the Brian Craig Show group, it's not me communicating with you. Sometimes I'll get DMs through there. I will DM you, but Facebook is not used like it was, and so I don't trust Zuckerberg. What he's doing is out of desperation to save his company. But I do want to play more about what he says, because this video is like a confessional video for all the shenanigans that Facebook has been up to. He admits everything, which is interesting to hear. So I'll play more of that when we get back. Don't go anywhere.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Sloman's Home Security has been your trusted partner in keeping your home safe and secure. Whether it's protecting your loved ones or safeguarding your belongings, our commitment to real security powered by real people makes all the difference.
That's right. Our dedicated team is right here in Florida, ready to serve you with expert care and support.
With 24/7 monitoring and personalized service, you're not just a number to us, you're part of our family. Join all the homeowners who trust Sloman's for peace of mind. Call 1-800-ALARM-ME today. Protecting what matters most, because the difference is human.
Just because you live alone doesn't mean you have to be. At the bios page of Wesley, Dr. Mitch Tennis, an expert in hormone replacement therapy, is here to help you reclaim your hormone. Hormone replacement therapy is strong medical evidence supporting all the movements where they work in your 20s. You'll feel younger, have more energy, and even get more texture. And for women, hormone replacement pellet therapy can completely stop and reverse the signs and symptoms of menopause. Need more mood swings, better sleep, and no more menopause. Call Dr. Pez for a free consultation today at 561-320-8893. That's 561-320-8893.
Yes, all year. We're so Florida's #1 food cover because our family
tried to tear down Mike Lindell and my pillow, but Mike Lindell stood strong, just like President Trump. This is Brian Craig. It's time to celebrate President Trump's historic victory with My Pillow's Price Buster deals. Save with our promo code Kane at checkout. I sleep on a My Pillow mattress every night, and you can choose from top-rated mattresses, including the revolutionary My Pillow foam mattress with 5 comfort layers for the best sleep ever, and the 2-sided encased coil quilted mattress. It's built for unbeatable comfort and delivered right to your door. The My Pillow mattresses come with a 10-year warranty, a 6-month money-back guarantee, and they're made right here in the United States. There's never been a better time to upgrade your sleep. Go to mypillow.com and use the promo code Kane, K-A-N-E, at checkout for huge savings. Celebrate Trump's win and sleep like a patriot.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world.
All righty. We are back. Now, I cannot say enough about that My Pillow mattress, by the way. You know, my wife and I, we have the coil mattress, and it's the most comfortable mattress I've ever slept on. I haven't slept on a coil mattress since I was young. It is out of this world. And there's great deals on all the mattresses at My Pillow with our promo code Kane at checkout. I don't get that much sleep every night, like 4 hours, 5 if I'm lucky. And you see how well rested I am? It's because that little bit of sleep I get on the My Pillow mattress, the My Pillow sheets, and the pillows themselves, and everything else. Those few short hours of sleep I get every night are well-rested sleep. So go to mypillow.com, use our promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E, for incredible deals. You can also order by phone 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane, K-A-N-E. All right, so let me get back to this with Zuckerberg. This is his big announcement video yesterday. And I'll start it over. I won't keep interrupting it.
I want to talk about something important today, because it's time to get back to our roots around free expression on Facebook and Instagram. I started building social media to give people a voice. I gave a speech at Georgetown 5 years ago about the importance of protecting free expression, and I still believe this today. But a lot has happened over the last several years. There's been widespread debate about potential harms from online content. Governments and legacy media have pushed to censor more and more. A lot of this is clearly political, but there's also a lot of legitimately bad stuff out there. Drugs, terrorism, child exploitation. These are things that we take very seriously, and I want to make sure that we handle responsibly. So we built a lot of complex systems to moderate content. But the problem with complex systems is they make mistakes. Even if they accidentally censor just 1% of posts, that's millions of people. And we've reached a point where it's just too many mistakes and too much censorship. The recent elections also feel like a cultural tipping point towards once again prioritizing speech.
Okay, now I'll stop there. The new election. See, this, yesterday I was talking about McDonald's. McDonald's just is not only abandoning all their ridiculous, absurd DEI policies, they made a big press announcement and they released it globally. It's one thing to stop doing it. It's another thing to come out and make a big deal about it. And now he's doing a similar thing here with this Zuckerberg. And while I do not trust Zuckerberg, the thing about McDonald's and others, what I was telling you yesterday, this is, I think, very important. The wokesters are a very tiny, vocal, overrepresented group. And President Trump winning the popular vote, flipping all those counties in California, winning all the battleground states, and much more, winning more Hispanic voters than the Democrats, all that stuff. It woke a lot of people up that woke is not popular. And a lot of people are moving away from it, like Zuckerberg is doing, because it's good business to do it. But some of them, I think, have been living in fear of being canceled and have been intimidated. All right, back to Zuckerberg.
We're going to get back to our roots and focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our policies, and restoring free expression on our platforms. More specifically, here's what we're going to do. First, we're going to get rid of fact checkers and replace them with community notes, similar to X, starting in the US.
Okay, now what that means, the fact checkers, the fact checkers would, remember Hillary? Fact checkers, get to work, get to work. Yeah, well, I got the facts checked, and you're a hag, and your husband's a sex offender, okay? But, but the fact checkers, the fact checkers were people like Jay from Jersey, okay? Joy Reid, people like that, lunatics, left-wing lunatics. And if they didn't like what you were saying, you were out. That's why our Liberty Eagle Facebook group was deleted by the fact checkers. What community notes are, okay, because I see this on all the platforms I'm on. They and I don't always agree with them either, but it's no big thing. Under your whatever you post, if there's a community note, there's a little sentence or maybe even a paragraph. A lot of times it's just from Wikipedia. Sometimes it'll be from AP or Reuters or something, explaining what it is you're talking about or what you're posting about, to give context. It's just a community note. There's no censoring with that. Sometimes it may seem like a disclaimer, and maybe it is, but that's not the same as having fact checkers delete not just content, but delete entire profiles because they don't like conservatives.
After Trump first got elected in 2016, the legacy media wrote nonstop about how misinformation was a threat to democracy. We tried in good faith to address those concerns without becoming the arbiters of truth.
Okay, now the media talking about misinformation, a threat to democracy. The mainstream national media, including some of the bigger newspapers and wire services, are government-controlled CIA ops. I've talked about this a lot over the years. It's true. CNN is CIA. And they control the narrative. And what's happened with Facebook and Twitter and all these things, they've lost control of the narrative. They've not been able to sell their position. That's why Trump got elected at both times, right? To them, that's a threat to democracy. When they can no longer control the narrative, to them, that's a threat to democracy. And these people have been doing this for so long, they really truly don't understand. And Zuckerberg here, there's a couple of things I think are in play with him. One, I think Facebook is about to fade away. I really do. I think it's about to go the way of MySpace. It's just not used. People don't like it. So he's trying to save his company. But I still stand by that he is deep state. When he developed Facebook, I always forget if he went to Harvard or Yale. It doesn't matter. Harvard, Yale, Princeton, London School of Economics, Oxford, they're all CIA, okay? They're all deep state. And when he and his buddies came up with this idea, the government saw it, and they saw the power of it, and they grabbed it and made it the thing that it is today. And my guess is whoever his handlers are, and I know this may sound crazy to some of you people. Hey, listen, I'm thinking about going to LA today, so maybe I'm crazy. But whoever his deep state handlers are have either released him or because of the return from Trump are no longer in power, would be my thoughts on it. All right, back to Zuckerberg here.
But the fact checkers have just been too politically biased and have destroyed more trust than they've created, especially in the US. So over the next couple of months, we're going to phase in a more comprehensive community notes system. Second, we're going to simplify our content policies and get rid of a bunch of restrictions on topics like immigration and gender that are just out of touch with mainstream discourse. What started as a movement to be more inclusive has increasingly been used to shut down opinions and shut out people with different ideas, and it's gone too far. So I want to make sure that people can share their beliefs and experiences on our platforms. Third, we're changing how we enforce our policies to reduce the mistakes that account for the vast majority of censorship on our platforms. We used to have filters that scanned for any policy violation. Now, we're going to focus those filters on tackling illegal and high-severity violations. And for lower severity violations, we're going to rely on someone reporting an issue before we take action. The problem is that the filters make mistakes, and they take down a lot of content that they shouldn't. So by dialing them back, we're going to dramatically reduce the amount of censorship on our platforms. We're also going to tune our content filters to require much higher confidence before taking down content. The reality is that this is a trade-off. It means we're going to catch less bad stuff, but we'll also reduce the number of innocent people's posts and accounts that we accidentally take down. Fourth, we're bringing back civic content. For a while, the community asked to see less politics because it was making people stressed. So we stopped recommending these posts.
Okay, hear that? So this is a real confession of things that we've suspected, right? So people like me, for years, have not been getting recommended by Facebook. You can find me if you're searching for me, but it's never recommended to people that don't already know you. And most of the listeners we have on all of our platforms, most of you stumbled upon us. Flipping through the radio dial, going through YouTube, maybe somebody's told you about me or Steve, or you saw something on social, you understand? Most people find you accidentally through recommendations, even if it's on the radio going through the dial. So not only have they been censoring conservative content at Facebook, they have been purposely not recommending conservatives on Facebook. This is a confession video.
It feels like we're in a new era now, and we're starting to get feedback that people want to see this content again. So we're going to start phasing this back into Facebook,
I'll break in a minute.
Instagram, and Threads while working to keep the communities friendly and positive. Fifth, we're going to move our trust and safety and content moderation teams out of California, and our US-based content review is going to be based in Texas.
Okay, so you hear, now this is an interesting thing. So the people that are doing the fact checking and all this stuff have been California liberal lunatics. Now the people that work for Facebook, they're going to hire people in Texas. Well, not everybody in Texas is MAGA conservative, unfortunately. Remember Beto? There's a lot of people, like that out there. But this is a big change, but I don't care what they say. I do not trust this man. And I don't think Facebook is ever going to have a comeback unless someone like Elon Musk buys it and turns it in. I think the brand is so damaged. I think Zuckerberg and his crew are so damaged. Twitter was on life support before Elon bought it and turned it into X and got rid of all the lunatics that were there. And I just really, truly believe that Facebook, that it's too damaged with him. He would have to sell it to someone who is viewed as a free speech advocate like Elon Musk. And short of that, I don't think there's ever going to be any return by conservatives to Facebook, but en masse. But he's admitting that the majority of the country are MAGA. The majority of the country are conservative, not liberal. All right, we'll take our break for the bottom of the hour and be right back.
Making morning radio great again. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Phones and the team viewer thing went down, so I was coming here just in case, but we came back up.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even notice.
Yeah.
I wasn't looking at the phones.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to rush you. I was just making sure that when you were ready,
Oh.
I was able to click it.
Oh, okay.
But it worked out. And we do have Seal next. I'm going to try to call him. I cleared the spot for him.
Okay.
That'll be like the usual next break.
But, he may not be there. He may,
I could throw the backup just in case.
Okay.
Give it a shot, why not?
And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Heads up for a crash in West Palm Beach. Right lane blocked 95 south approaching Palm Beach International Airport. In West Palm, a crash Belvedere Road and Haverhill Road. Palm Beach, a crash US 1 at 9th Avenue North. Up to speed on the Turnpike North and south through Jupiter. Palm Beach and West Palm. Palm Beach Gardens construction on the Beeline Highway from West Blue Heron Boulevard to North Lake Boulevard. That's traffic.
Is this connected for Steve?
Should be.
Okay. He's going to be on there tonight. He's texted me.
Usually Eric's really good at that, but let me double check. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
pleased to say our relationship with the Steve Kane Show and the show's listeners keeps getting stronger and stronger. Steve Kane Show listeners are truly the best customers we have
We
ever
have
had.
one more
They are
spot for
courteous,
8 o'clock.
intelligent,
Okay.
honest, and quite
I think someone's on the
Okay.
Want me to put it in the chat?
Yeah.
for the listeners from repairs, single-family homes, large HOA complexes, and churches with great success, and every one of those customers are like family. We have installed all kinds of roofs from asphalt shingles, clay, and concrete tile, standing metal seam, slate tile, and flat roof system. So come on, and let our family take care of you. Call me on my cell at 954-604-4602 or find us on the web at laportacontracting.com. The number again is 954-604-4602.
When you need lab work, don't waste hours and hours waiting at the doctor's office or one of those big labs. Go to any lab test now in Boca and any lab test now in Coral Springs. Their prices are guaranteed to be the lowest you'll find anywhere. No appointment, doctor's order, or prescription is needed, and you're in and out in 15 minutes or less. They offer every lab and blood work your doctor can order. They even have drug testing and STD testing. Take control of your health care and visit any lab test now in Boca and any lab test now in Coral Springs. There's lots of any lab test nows around, but these are the only two advertising on our radio station. So don't use the rest. Only go to any lab test now in Boca and any lab test now in Coral Springs. Make sure you tell her you heard about them on the radio.
Hi, this is Maureen Cohen from Nutrition World Palm Beach Gardens. They're so excited to be celebrating 50 years here in South Florida. The Cohen family started their first health food store in 1972, and ever since have been one of the largest locally owned family-run health food stores in the area. We carry thousands of supplements like vitamins, minerals, herbs, homeopathic, diet and fitness, and so much more. All your favorite top-quality brands. We also have tons of natural foods like gluten-free, paleo, and organic, as well as health ingredients, pet foods, and more. Visit Vanessa, Trish, Dunson, Scott, and Bruce. They're here 7 days a week for all your family's natural health needs. So stop by Nutrition World at the northeast corner of Fiji Boulevard and Prosperity Farms Road in the Carmine's Market Plaza by the Prosperity entrance. You can call us or text us anytime at 561-626-4377. That's 626-4377. Or check out our website at nutritionworld.com. Come see us 7 days a week at Nutrition World Palm Beach Gardens.
My name is Dr. Phil Appleton. I'm a chiropractic physician. Over the years, I've treated thousands and thousands of patients from bursitis, tendinitis, sciatica, stenosis, neuropathy, tears, post-surgery, pre-surgery, herniated disc, gout, bone on bone. If you can name the pain, most likely I've treated over the years. Most of my practice is laser with robotic lasers. They're robots which rotates constantly around the area, where most lasers do not do that. So if you want to come in for a free consultation, as always here, welcome at Appleton Chiropractic. I'm here 6 days a week. I personally do all the treatment. You can bring your MRIs, you can bring your x-rays, you can bring your CAT scans, whatever you have to bring for me to look at, I would do that free of charge.
Call Dr. Appleton right now for that free consultation. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonChiro.com.
Now is the best time when the market is challenged to consider copper, gold, silver, battery metals, clean tech, biotech, and AI equities. Listen to Money Talk Radio South Florida with me, Ellis Martin, 9:30 a.m. weekdays here on your true oldie station.
Brian Craig here. Our 6th annual cruise is coming up, and you're all invited. This time, we're sailing for 7 nights on Celebrity Cruise Line's newest ship, the Ascent to Puerto Plata, St. Thomas, and St. Martin. We set sail March 30th. We have private shore excursions, private cocktail parties, group activities. We're going to go to the shows together and much more.
Coming back after this, guys.
Cruise and Travel Depot right now. 561-244-5779. 561-244-5779. And online at cruisingdepot.com. Make your reservation and lock in a private group rate. Nothing comes close to Celebrity Cruises.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 48 years on the air.
All right, we are back. If you're on hold, stand by. Our number 1-888-465-2631. You know, we're 12 days away from the return of Trump. Well, 12 days, 4 hours, and 23 minutes, if you want to be precise. Oh, boy. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. Speak up. I can't hear you, man. You got a bad connection. Let me finish up though with this thing that just happened though with Zuckerberg, and then there's some other things I want to talk about. Steve will be joining us in a bit too. See, this is what we got to be very, very, very careful of, and this is why I trust Elon Musk. Zuckerberg, I don't trust, and there's really been something amazing has happened though. I have followed a lot of elections, and not just presidential elections, but midterm elections and things like this. And sometimes there's a slight excitement and everything. There's never been something like we're seeing right now. Okay, with Trump. I want you to think about what's happened. If we went back in time 4 days to this very day, a lot of you may not remember really what it was like. I do, because we were on the air, and it was a frightening time. They were ready to round us up and put us in camps 4 years ago. President Trump was sitting in the White House 4 years ago, this very day, totally cut off, with no line of communication to the world. Facebook, Twitter, all the other platforms cut him off. Even his POTUS account, he was trying to communicate to tell people to cool things down, and he couldn't. They tried on his personal account, his POTUS account. It was totally knocked off. They wouldn't put him on television. And now here we are 4 years later. Twitter is totally set up for Trump. This happened with Facebook. And Jeff Bezos, who's been to Mar-a-Lago, just paid $40 million for the rights to the Melania documentary, which is an official sanctioned documentary by Melania about her. And if you remember, in the first term, they wouldn't even put, we literally have an international supermodel as the first lady, literally. Remember when she went to Egypt? My goodness, she was decked out, man. And I remember they used to make such a big deal about Nancy Reagan's dresses, and before I was born, Jackie Kennedy, and then, Princess Diana. None of them could hold a candle to Melania, and they didn't have her in any magazines, no documentaries, nothing. And now they've opened that up. So there has been a change in this country, really a revolution of people that are getting behind what's going on here. So you got to ask yourself, what really is going on? Why is Bezos doing this? I don't know. It's hard to say, but there's a lot of panic on the left. So Joy Reid came out. If you're on hold, hang in there. We're on a bit of a tight schedule today because there's so much to cover. Right? I haven't even gotten to the Gulf of America yet, which we'll get to in a few minutes. That was just a great press conference with President Trump yesterday. But this thing with Facebook is huge. And when you guys, a lot of people in this audience got really mad at me and some knockout dragouts because if you remember 4 years ago when people were deleting their accounts on Twitter and Facebook, I said, don't do it. Don't do it. Keep it. Because those social media accounts are like mailing lists, and the days of mailing lists are very valuable. You're going to lose all your contacts, and a lot of people kept them, thankfully so. So after Zuckerberg's release yesterday, Joy Reid had a meltdown, and she, Sunny Hostin today with her husband's criminal charges, if she's on the air, it's going to be very weird. I'll definitely be watching The View, but now we understand why she's been insane on the air so long. Now, Joy Reid, she's a complete lunatic, and Joy Reid makes videos from home from time to time, and she's even worse than when she's on television because I guess she feels she's more free. This is Joy Reid talking about Zuckerberg firing all the fact checkers.
What if conservatives think fact checking is biased against them? What are you sharing if you keep getting fact checked for false information? Think about it. What were conservatives sharing on Meta that was getting flagged so much? For they're spreading false information.
Okay. First off, it's okay to spread false information. The American people are smart enough to decipher what's real and what's Memorex. It's not up to Joy Reid or anyone else to decide what is factual or not. You know, liberals confuse their opinions with facts. How many times have you heard, I've had this conversation with many liberals on this program over the years. They say, you're lying, you're saying this about Trump. And I will say to them every time, there's a difference between being mistaken and lying, and there's a difference between having a difference of an opinion and lying. You understand what I mean? Liberals believe that they don't have opinions. They have facts that are above and beyond anybody else. And if you disagree with them, you should be silenced because you're giving out misinformation. And you hear this lunatic giggle with these evil giggles, Joy Reid, as she said, well, why were you being fact-checked? You're giving out misinformation. It's America. Remember? Justice Scalia. You don't need the First Amendment to protect popular speech. You need the First Amendment to protect unpopular speech, right? And the American people can decide what's fact or fiction. They've made that choice about her and MSNBC. That's why they're so lowly rated. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. We're going to take a break and be right back.
Heart.
All right, and we're going to check in with Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Attorney Barry Siegel, good morning.
Good morning, Brian. How are you today?
I'm doing great. What do you have for us this morning?
Well, a lot of times when we talk about estate planning on the show, we're talking about the idea about how important it is to get it done. And so that's really aimed towards people who have not even done anything for their estate planning. But there are a lot of people who have done it, people who have taken on the responsibility of taking care of their family and their loved ones and getting that peace of mind. But so my question to those of you who've done it, first of all, good for you. But the other thing is, when's the last time you looked at it? When's the last time it was reviewed? Do you know what it is that you have in place? Can you tell us? Can you think of who you named as your power of attorney, as your healthcare surrogate, as your trustee of your trust, or the personal representative of your will? How are your assets divided amongst your beneficiaries? What if something happens to a beneficiary? Do you know what happens to the assets then? All of these questions, if you know exactly what you have and that's exactly how you want it, then great. Now there could be some other things too, like do you have bloodline protection for your beneficiaries? Do you have elder law language in your documents to make sure you don't run out of money before you run out of life and thus not have anything to leave to your loved ones? There's all those other questions that you may not be able to answer at face value just looking at your documents. You may need someone like us to look at it to be able to tell you exactly what you have.
Yeah, and these trusts are so specific and detailed. It's amazing. There's one thing I want to add, Barry, because I am a is it a trustee? Is that the word when you oversee a trust? I'm a trustee on multiple trusts, including Steve Kane's, which one of his daughters has a lot of problems with, from what from what I understand. But anyway, I'm a trustee on multiple trusts. I'm not an attorney. I've learned a little bit from talking to you over the years. But you offer a service that I've not heard anyone in your type of law offer for people like me. That it's time for the trust to go into action. You know what I'm talking about? Can you tell people a little bit about this consultation?
And so we'll do a free post-death consultation with the successor trustee, because most of the time successor trustees may not have had experience acting as a successor trustee, so they really don't know what to do, they don't know where to start. So we will do a free consultation, a free post-death consultation with them, so that they'll be able to get all the information they need, know what they need to do, know what documentation they need to gather, and so on. So that's something that we do.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing, because I don't know what to do with all these trusts. I've got copies of them filed away, but I don't know what to do. So I'll be over there. Believe me, you'll be my first call when it comes time for this. at the Siegel Law Group. All right, listen, give the Siegel Law Group a call. Now, remember, it is a no-charge consultation with the Siegel Law Group if you mention you heard Attorney Barry Siegel on the program. Here's the number, 855-FLA-3782. And by the way, that consultation is one of the many examples, Barry, that show that you and your incredible practice, you're with people every step of the way, even after they pass. I mean, it's really a concierge service you're offering. You really care about your clients and their families and take care of them, even when, everything's been paid and the client's even no longer alive. That's really an amazing thing you offer. 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. And online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel, take care. We'll talk later in the week. All right, we are back, and let's go back to our phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Colin in San Diego.
All right, San Diego. What's on your mind?
Hey, Brian. Sorry, first time calling here. Listen to you all the time early in the morning. Daughter lives directly east of the Gang Center off the 405. Been there, done that. With that, the fires there constantly are going to keep everything congested with traffic. So it's flying in. It's not going to be a problem. They'll be able to come in from they'll actually land going into it. So you'll see everything to the north of you when you're coming into LAX.
So you're telling me that is it okay for me to go to LA today or not? What should I do?
Yeah, if you want to come out and hang with your daughter and do certain things, so basically Southern Cal's going to be completely shut down as far as doing what you're doing. So
yeah,
if you're watching KCal or whatever on the internet, that'll bring you up to speed. Fox is pretty good, but KCal is even better. So
yeah, all right. I appreciate the heads up from a local. But I've been thinking about going to San Diego. I was wondering if I could call my daughter and have her meet me in San Diego instead of LA. I don't know.
Well, as long as you're not, so when they give you specific numbers like 30,000 people leaving Pacific Palisades, you can easily double that. That's like people coming across the border. So
Oh, really? So it's a madhouse. It's just probably best to stay out of California right now.
Yeah, one last thing. Oddly enough, our buddy Joe Biden was there right when the fire started, and oddly enough, Gavin Newsom was right there to get on, make sure his hair looks good on the.
Well, hey, listen. An unattended crack pipe in the bush could start a fire. Is Hunter with him?
Yeah, well, that's what happened with the Screwball fire. The homeless encampment right next to the Getty Center in 2018 there went right down to 405. So,
yeah.
The homeless guys get really mad when it puts, when the winds come up to, their sternos just take off. And it's,
well, my daughter texted me late last night because, and I talked to her like at 1:30 in the morning. It's only 10:30 for her, right? And she sent me a screenshot. It was a map, and she says, "Dad, all the cool places we were going to go this weekend are on fire. Stay away. Don't come."
Dukes of Malibu, taking people walking out of the canyon straight to the beach. Dukes of Malibu sits right on the coast, great restaurant. But these people were told to evacuate. Now they're burned and they're setting it up at the triage center. It's the real deal.
Well, here in Florida, when we have hurricanes, we get so many people move to Florida, and they don't understand. When you're in Florida, when they tell you to evacuate, you're in an evacuation zone for a hurricane. Get out. It's catastrophic. You're going to be in trouble.
Last bit here, I'm sure you saw how the traffic is always so bad getting out of these canyons. What happened? People basically made a run for it, and then they had to bring in large bulldozers to clear the Mercedes, the Tesla.
Well, but we have but LA has the very first LGBTQ plus lesbian fire chief. So the fact that they don't have any water pressures to fight the fires, at least we got a DEI hire, and we can feel morally like we're doing the right thing.
Everybody gets a trophy, and they were praising everybody in the middle of the fire yesterday afternoon at 4:00, going, "Oh, you're amazing!"
Yeah, how diverse we are. Yes.
Yeah. I know. All right.
I appreciate the call. Yeah, you know, when they get to the bottom of this no pressure in the fire hydrants in LA, and then they wonder, well, we got all these DEI people. Is there a connection? I would say so. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Bob from Jupiter.
Hey, Jupiter, what's up?
Hey, real quick, Barry Siegel. Let me tell you, I never used the guy here in the commercial, but my father passed about 6 months ago, and what a nightmare if you don't have that all taken care of. Absolutely.
Oh, it is. It is.
Oh my goodness. And not to get off topic, but my father, who passed away, fell and broke his hip. Elderly guy, fell, broke his hip, and died. It took 32 days for him to get cremated, unlike the shooter in Pennsylvania, because he broke his hip in a nursing home. Nothing contested, but it still took the state of Florida because they wanted to examine everything and make sure everything was right.
Yeah, but your father though wasn't part of a U.S. government conspiracy to shoot a president. That he would have been cremated immediately if he was.
Absolutely correct. So when that was going on, I was thinking to myself, but hey, going back to Zuckerberg and all these guys, in my past life, going to school up in the Northeast and all that, Zuckerberg's from New York. He's a Jewish guy from New York. He probably has never met a conservative in his life. His family are not conservatives. They're a conservative in Northeast. I was in Massachusetts. That is somebody who's very strange to them. When I was up north, going to school up there, if you said you were conservative, it was almost like it was something just happened in the room that was just really unpleasant. They don't know what a conservative is. They're scared to death. Zuckerberg and these guys, even like Joe Rogan, those kind of guys, I know where Joe Rogan grew up. There's not a conservative to be found. They're fair weather friends. They're all going to be good as long as everything's going cool with Trump. But as soon as there's a hiccup, watch out, because those guys might jump.
Well, Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan he got on the Trump train the last day when it was safe. Come on, give me a break. That's weak.
Why is Zuckerberg all of a sudden now a friend of the conservative?
No, I don't trust that guy. I don't trust him. No, I just don't trust at all.
I trust him to do what he's doing. He's saving his behind. That's what he's doing. That's what he's always done. That's what he's doing. But as far as all these conservatives are going to think about things, he doesn't even know what that is. He can't do it because he's never been around. He surrounds himself. He's been born, brought up, and surrounded himself his entire life with liberals. It's not even his.
Well, and what their idea of a conservative is the worst negative stereotype you can imagine.
Go to Providence. What do you want a conservative? They think you're like an animal.
Oh yeah, believe me, I know. It's the same way in Florida. I mean, Florida is very red, but there's a lot of liberals in this state, and it wasn't as red as it is now years ago. This was a long time blue state. And I know exactly what you're talking about. And, you mentioned Jewish. Liberal Jews historically hate conservatives like the plague. They think we're Nazis.
100%. That's the way it is. It'll never change. I don't know to tell stories, but I played sports up north. And when we played Southern schools, I remember my coach saying, oh, yeah, these redneck, filthy. And I'm like, these aren't redneck kids. They're just from the South. Not everybody from the South is a redneck that's just got hate.
Married to their cousin, living in a double wide.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. All right. Hey, listen. Appreciate the call from Jupiter. All right. All right. Let's go here. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Rob. Sorry about that.
All right, Rob. What's up?
Two callers ago, that guy hit the nail on the head. I used to live in California, in Newport Beach, and my daughter told me these winds it's really, really cold. And I was like you, I got up at about 1 a.m. and I could not get off Twitter. And I read all the Los Angeles Times. It's bad. This is no joke out there.
Yeah.
And, with this wind, and I would caution you to be cautious.
Caution me to be cautious. Cautiously cautious about going to LA today.
Well, there's other.
Well, let me tell you, listen, there is. I'm going to tell you something that. By the way, I appreciate the call. When I get signs for things, remember the Fort Lauderdale airport shooting that happened? I was there. Okay, my daughter and I and my mother, we missed it by 2 minutes. And when we were going to the airport that day, my daughter and I were going to the airport to pick my mother up. She was flying to Fort Lauderdale from Seattle. And we took the turnpike to 595. A man jumped off of one of the bridges and onto traffic on the turnpike and got run over and burned up and everything. And it happened right before we got there, and the body was laying in the street still, it was not even covered up yet. I've never seen, so you don't want to see something like that. And my daughter was driving, and I said, that's a bad omen on the way to the airport. We pick up my mother, we get her baggage, we leave the baggage claim, step on the sidewalk, the shooting happened while we were there. You know, and I told my daughter, I said, what are the odds a guy takes his own life right in front of us and then this? You know what I mean? I said, that was a sign. We got very lucky. You know, so yesterday, my flight is JetBlue to LA, all right? Which is not my favorite airline, but I had some credit and points and everything with JetBlue. But it's all right, but no room for your legs on JetBlue unless you're in first class. But anyway, yesterday there were two bodies were found inside the wheel well of a JetBlue in Fort Lauderdale, and I said to myself, that's not good. Because I was thinking about this other thing that had happened on the way to pick up my mom, the shooting, the guy jumping off the bridge and all that stuff. I said, that's I don't know about that. And then I get this call with this fire. I'm getting signs not to go, but I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Okay, we're going to take our break for the top of the hour. Steve will be joining us when we get back. We have so much to cover. I'm Brian. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. Our number, toll-free, 1-888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you are listening. We'll take our break for the top of the hour and be back. Steve, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay.
These two breaks might be a little bit long because I moved everything for Joe.
Well, how long is the next one? Because that one at the bottom was like 10 minutes.
That's what I was about to say.
Can you move one or two of those? Let me come in there and look real quick.
Yeah.
AppletonCairo.com.
Hello, this is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I can get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
The fake news tried to tear down Mike Lindell and My Pillow, but Mike Lindell stood strong, just like President Trump. This is Brian Craig. It's time to celebrate President Trump's historic victory with My Pillow's Price Buster deals. Save with our promo code Kane at checkout. I sleep on a My Pillow mattress every night, and you can choose from top-rated mattresses, including the revolutionary My Pillow foam mattress with 5 comfort layers for the best sleep ever, and the 2-sided encased coil quilted mattress. It's built for unbeatable comfort and delivered right to your door. The My Pillow mattresses come with a 10-year warranty, a 6-month money-back guarantee, and they're made right here in the United States. There's never been a better time to upgrade your sleep. Go to MyPillow.com and use the promo code Kane, K-A-N-E, at checkout for huge savings. Celebrate Trump's win and sleep like a patriot.
Do you suffer from neuropathy? I did, until I went to Lighthouse Medical Center in Pompano. Numbness, pain, burning, tingling in my hands and feet, muscle weakness, loss of balance, muscle twitching, and all but disappeared. Say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. Call Lighthouse Medical Center for a free consultation. 754-222-6642.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show.
All right, the third hour has begun. I'm Brian Steve Kane joining us. Hey, Steve. Oh, boy, before we get started, though, I was just listening to your recorded commercial for Lighthouse Medical, okay? We're talking about your neuropathy, and I just want to add something to that, okay? You know, 30 seconds, you can't get everything in 30 seconds, right? What I want to add to your recorded message about Lighthouse Medical, and this is very, very important, and Steve and I just discovered this really just, I guess, by living life, I guess. The neuropathy treatment at Lighthouse Medical not only works and rids you of your neuropathy symptoms, what we have found over 2.5 years later after your treatment is that it lasts, that your neuropathy hasn't returned. So I want to add that to the message. It doesn't just rid you of the neuropathy symptoms, it lasts. It's been over 2.5 years now since Steve had his treatment at Lighthouse Medical. It's a no-charge consultation. Make sure you mention you heard him on the Steve Kane Show when you call so you can take advantage of that. 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642 and online lighthousemedicalcenter.com. Well, a lot's cooking here. I'm scheduled to fly to LA today. Yeah.
My sister lives in San Diego.
Oh.
I've been trying to get on with that guy from San Diego. I wanted to find out the details of the situation over there.
It doesn't sound, everyone's telling me not to go. I've been hearing from people all morning about it. And I was scheduled to, I still am. I have a ticket. I have my ticket. Yeah, she called me at 1:30 in the morning. She says, don't come, Dad. She says, stay home. Don't come, Dad.
Probably the one that knows the best.
She said, she took a screenshot from a map of where the fires are, and she texted it to me. She said, all the cool places we're planning on going are on fire. Don't come, Dad. I mean, I hate to laugh. Yeah, it is horrible. It is horrible. But so I don't know. I will decide after the show. But I wanted to. Well, we're coming. I have been planning this for a while. I was waiting until after the election, and then we have the inauguration coming up. We're in one of the busiest news times of our lives.
Every day's going to be a big.
I know. So I don't know what I'll decide after the show if I'm going for the weekend. There's a bunch of things going on though, and I want to jump into them. I didn't know if you had one in particular you wanted. Did you see President Trump's Gulf of America press conference at Mar-a-Lago?
Yes, I did.
Let me tell you, he had a confidence about him that I've never seen before, and he's a confident dude. He did something, again, that he did in the last press conference that no president has ever done. He brought he brought a guy from Japan up during the last one who's going to invest $100 billion or something in the United States. Yesterday, he brought up a guy who's going to invest $20 billion into the United States with call centers. Usually, when all the other presidents before Trump, when they have a press conference, they tell you all the American money that we're going to give away to other countries. President Trump, I'm proud to announce that we're giving away $80 trillion to, Zimbabwe.
Permits me to when I'm working, I just go home from here.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if that's good or sad, but the thing about it is, I guess, President Trump is the only president in the history of the United States, and I think this, you could take this to the bank. President Trump is the only president of the United States who has had press conferences and brought people out who are actually investing money into the United States, not sending money to other countries, which is amazing. But this thing about the Gulf of America, and notice he didn't say of the United States. America covers all of the Americas. And that is, what you and I grew up in different eras, but there were a lot of similarities, right? I mean, you grew up during that post-war 50s, 60s era when, America was loved. I grew up in the 70s and 80s after the bicentennial when there was excitement about America. What we have now are a bunch of racist America haters that tell everybody that America needs to burn like California is right now, that it's a terrible place and all this. And everything that President Trump is doing is meant to bring back American pride, which is something that Obama and Biden and all these people have been working to bring down. And they want you to be ashamed, not proud of America. And the Gulf of America, I don't know what's involved with that name change. I imagine, Steve, a country can call anything they want. And, as an example, China calls Taiwan, Taiwan, but Taiwan calls Taiwan, China, right? So if Trump wants to change the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, I'm sure there's some federal agency, it can just happen. I don't think it's that big of a thing. Maybe it might take some legislation. I don't know. It seems like a minor thing. But that's very important. And he brought up something yesterday, though, Steve, that I don't think any Americans knew before. He first mentioned it 2 weeks ago, but then he gave more detail yesterday. We understand that we give foreign aid to countries in need. Like, I don't agree with what we're doing in Ukraine, but Ukraine was invaded, so the story is they've been invaded. It's a small country. Russia's big. We're helping. Or we give foreign aid. I don't agree with any of that, but just for the discussion. And we know that we give foreign aid to third world pits of hell in Latin America and Africa and places like that. But we have been giving over $250 billion with a B dollars each and every year to Canada, and massive foreign aid to Canada, and this is the thing about Canada, because Canada, landmass wise, is big, but the population is only 10% of the United States. And that's been constant for decades. Their population is very small, 10% of ours. 80% of Canadians live within 150 miles of the U.S. border. They're very dependent on us. But we're giving over $250 billion a year to Canada. My mother-in-law is a U.S. citizen, but she's a naturalized U.S. citizen. She's from Canada. Her family's in Canada. She's an American. Don't call her Canadian. She gets really pissed. If you call her Canadian, she gets really pissed off. She's American. She had to spend years, Steve. She had my daughter and my my daughter. She had my my mother-in-law didn't have my daughter. That'd be Jerry Springer. Okay. She had my wife. She had my wife. Jerry Springer show, not a Steve Kane show. My mother-in-law had my wife and my brother-in-law. She still wasn't a citizen. She had to go through years of the test and all that stuff that, they don't do anymore. So she's proud to be an American. But she knows how Canada works. And she said that money, she told us two things about it. One, what we're paying for. She says we're paying for pretty much their entire nationalized healthcare system. We're paying for it. We're funding it. No wonder they love it. We're paying for it. Pretty much the whole thing. And they have to pay, it's around 30, I can't remember the exact number, but they have to pay tens of millions of dollars every year to the King of England or the Queen, right? Whichever one you have, to be a part of the Commonwealth. The United States, we are funding all of Canada. We're paying their Commonwealth fees. We're paying for their nationalized, socialized healthcare system, and then all of it. And President Trump pointed this out yesterday. We're also paying for their military defense. Canada's a first world country. It's not like a third world pit of hell where they still are working on electrification. Okay. Well, I don't think we should be doing that. And I never realized this before. That's why he started with this 51st state thing. We are 100% funding all of Canada, more so than we are a U.S. state. And that was shocking to me yesterday. And I think it was shocking to a lot of people. I don't think people really realized how much of this foreign aid are we giving out, and why are we funding all of Canada? They owe us. That should stop on day one. 100%. We shouldn't be giving 10 cents in foreign aid.
That's all part of the negotiation. What this whole last couple of days is about all these announcements that Trump is making are the first step in a vast set of negotiations. Based on goals that he's been sitting on and knows about for a long time.
Yeah.
Part of a plan. I mean, this is...
Well, the reason for foreign aid, in theory, and this is what President Trump's doing, okay? The reason we give foreign aid, the reason we do it now is because the government's run by corrupt people like Biden, and they can steal part of the money. That's the purpose that's used for today. But the theory behind foreign aid is it gives us leverage over those countries. Do what we want or no foreign aid. Yeah, anything we want them to do. Anything. And so President Trump did this a couple times in his first term, taking back the MS-13. They wouldn't take them back. No foreign aid for you, and then they do it, right? So you're right. What he's doing with Canada, what he's doing with Mexico, and he's going to do around the world is use our economic power, which probably is more powerful than even our military, and it's not dangerous. So Canada's about, he's the guy that's coming in is amazing. I can't remember his name. He's got a funny French last name. I forgot how to say his last name, but he's fantastic. Okay, he's MAGA Canada. Maple MAGA. I don't know what he would call it. Maple MAGA. I don't know. Canuck MAGA. I like Maple MAGA. But this foreign aid, Canada is going to bend the knee to America, or they're going to lose all this foreign aid. And because we're funding their entire nationalized healthcare system, paying for their defense, and paying their Commonwealth fees to the King of England, we're in a position to get them to do whatever we want. They could not function without that foreign aid because they never have had to. So the power of the foreign aid is amazing. It's more powerful than the tariffs.
Financial aspects. I mean, he has to pay for a defense if they.
Not Canada. We're paying for it.
Okay.
Not Europe. We're paying for NATO.
Right. You're actually technically that's exactly right. But basically, that is an obligation that. Canada doesn't have to worry about because of us.
Well, they will if they don't do whatever Trump wants from them. Yeah, well, whatever he wants.
Talk tough. I love listening blowhard steam.
You know, I saw that one guy, Ford. He's one of the premiers of one of the provinces. I don't know. And he's like, well, why don't well Michigan can join America? And you remember his brother was the crack addict mayor. He must be smoking some of his brother's crack. Okay, you're not getting Michigan. Okay, you're not getting Minnesota, and you know, and you're not getting Oregon. Okay, and all these things they were talking about yesterday. But President Trump is governing in a way that's never been done before. And when you watch these, when he has a press conference, if you can, watch it in its entirety unedited. Don't watch it through the sound bites that are filtered through you on any media outlet, whether it's TV or online. You've got to watch them, even if you have to watch it later, watch them in its entirety unedited. And he's a maestro at work. Yeah. He's conquered the world without firing a shot. It's amazing because it's all about money, and he understands money.
Of course, that dynamic you just mentioned plays into the fears of all the anti-Trump people, because that's what they said. He's going to take over the world.
What's wrong with that? We're America. You want America to be in charge.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah, right. Well, who else do you want to be in charge if not America? You know, the president is the leader of the free world is not just some fake thing. It's real.
They'll get used to it. Mm-hmm. He's orchestrated everything down to the most minute detail. His whole
and yeah,
all these ideas churning through it.
Well, we gotta take our break. All right, we'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Hey, it's Scott Shannon, one of the DJs here at the True Oldies channel. Hope you're enjoying the Kane Show with Brian. And we want to remind you that at 10 this morning, the oldies are back. The greatest hits of the 60s and 70s right here on the True Oldies channel.
Hey, my True Oldies listeners, John Tesh here with some intelligence for your retirement this time. When you're looking for a retirement advisor, you know trust and experience are two big qualities to look for. And as it turns out, my friend Jupiter Joe Thomas possesses both of these. Whether you're in retirement or looking to retire, I want you to give local expert Joe Thomas a call. Here's the number, 561-743-0999. Or, even simpler, you can go to JupiterJoe.com. Mention my name, John Tesh. You'll receive a free copy of Joe's book, Retirement Know-It-All. Great book. Call 561-743-0999. Or remember, go to JupiterJoe.com. That's JupiterJoe.com.
This is Mark Laporta, son of Tom Laporta and proud second-generation owner of Laporta Roofing. As a military veteran who served in the Army after 9/11, I've brought the same dedication and discipline to our family business. At Laporta Roofing, we've been serving our community for nearly 4 decades, and we're committed to continuing that legacy of excellence. Our team specializes in all types of roofing systems, from shingles to tile, slate, metal, and flat roofs. We're the go-to experts for single-family homes, HOA communities, and condo associations. What sets us apart is our unwavering commitment to customer satisfaction. I've personally implemented systems to ensure you receive the best in customer service and workmanship. Don't miss out on our limited time offer for a free roof inspection. Call us now at 954-604-4602 or visit us at laportaroofing.com. Trust the experts who have been protecting homes like yours for generations. Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
My name is Dr. Philip Appleton. I'm a chiropractic physician. Over the years, I've treated thousands and thousands of patients from bursitis, tendonitis, sciatica, stenosis, neuropathy, tears, post-surgery, pre-surgery, herniated disc, gout, bone on bone. If you can name the pain, most likely I've treated over the years. Most of my practice is laser with robotic lasers. They're robots which rotates constantly around the area, where most lasers do not do that. So if you want to come in for a free consultation, as always here, welcome at Appleton Chiropractic. I'm here 6 days a week. I personally do all the treatment. You can bring your MRIs, you can bring your x-rays, you can bring your CAT scans, whatever you have to bring for me to look at, I would do that free of charge.
Call Dr. Appleton right now for that free consultation. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online,
Now back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3, Airedale on 96.9 FM, and
All right, we're back. I'm Brian. Steve's here. You know, another thing, Steve, with, when Trump says we're going to change the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, he's not kidding. He wasn't joking. I know some people think that he's kidding. Did you see Don Jr.'s visit to Greenland? Oh, my goodness. When Don Jr. in Greenland, he was greeted. I don't know. I've never seen an American greeted like that. It kind of reminded me of when Trump went to Saudi Arabia in the first term. They were loving him. You know, yes, Greenland's going to be ours. He sent a delegation there. Charlie Kirk was with him. And they went on Trump Force One. And Don Jr. does not usually fly alone on Trump Force One. President Trump wanted Greenland to see it. You know, and here's the thing, Steve. There's only 56,500 people who live in Greenland, which is amazing. It's the biggest island in the world. In fact, 56,000. Greenland, I didn't know anything about Greenland till like 2 weeks ago, and I've been reading up on it, right? Who cared about Greenland till now? It's the largest island in the world. Greenland is larger than Australia. Isn't that something? And, of course, I know you've all heard that if we were to acquire Greenland, it would be a purchase or an acquisition even larger than the Louisiana Purchase. And you guys that go to school in the last 15 or 20 years probably don't even know what that is. But the Lewis and Clark and all that stuff. There's only 56,500 residents of Greenland. They're Inuits, which are Eskimos. They're Eskimos. So we already have a common bond with our Eskimos, right? Our Inuits in Alaska. But here's the deal. They had a thing set up with Denmark many years ago. They can leave Denmark anytime. They just have to have a vote, and the majority have to vote for it. So if there's 56,000 residents, how many of them are of voting age? A lot of them are kids. And since it's so cold, they stay inside. Probably have a lot of kids. So I figure there's only like 35,000 eligible voters, maybe even less. It could be, Steve, there could be as few as 30,000 eligible voters in all of Iceland. So what? Trump's got to get 16,000 people in Iceland to vote in favor of joining the United States? That's that would be only if Greenland were Canada. That's Canada. So he's got to get about 16,000 people in Greenland to vote in favor of joining the United States. There's more people in line for the men's room at a Trump rally than that. It's not that many people. So if he's got to convince, and what a lot of people don't know, on election night, President Trump had at Mar-a-Lago with the family the #1 online influencer from Greenland. I don't know who they are, but in Greenland they're famous. Okay, they're Greenland famous. So this is a serious thing, and it's not that difficult of a thing to do. And when Don Jr. touched down on Trump Force One yesterday with Charlie Kirk and the delegation, I couldn't believe how many MAGA hats they had in Greenland. I mean, they were all wearing MAGA hats. This is a very realistic thing. And the thing about, I believe so. Absolutely, it's going to happen. Well, Greenland, this is the thing. You guys hear how rich it is in minerals and all this stuff. And that's all true. But Denmark steals all of it. The average income, I was researching this yesterday. The average income in Greenland is $31,000 a year. $31,000 a year. Denmark's stealing all the wealth, and they're not getting it. The people that live there, the 56,000. So Trump could. It's an easy thing to sell. If you're a native of Greenland today, you and your if this is what he'll tell them. It's so obvious, right? If you are a native of Greenland today, you, your family, and your descendants forever will receive a share of the profits each and every year from all the resources of Greenland. And they'll put a dollar amount on it. They're all going to be rich. They're living in poverty now. And he's going to make them rich. It sounds like an easy sell.
The angry comments that it's not going to happen on Wednesday.
It's going to happen. No.
It's going to happen, and they don't. It's been set up to succeed.
That's right. The Prime Minister of Denmark, who looks like one of the guys in ABBA, I saw her on TV. She's, it's not gonna happen. It's ours. Yeah, well, she's stealing from. She's and you liberals out there, I thought you were all into native people having rights to their land. You want these European colonialists to keep the native Greenland people, under their thing, stealing from them. This is beautiful. And the Prime Minister of Greenland, who keeps saying Greenland's whatever, he's on. That guy's on the take. He's the one guy in Greenland getting some of the money. Yeah. Oh my goodness. No, we're going to get Greenland. I had no doubt about it. We're going to get Greenland. It's not just for the mineral wealth. It's a militarily strategic thing. I mean, because of the location. All right, we're going to take our break on this very chilly Wednesday morning. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. I'm Brian. We'll be back right after this.
Making morning radio great again. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
How about that?
How's it going? I wasn't sure you were coming there. I didn't say I took the break a little long to give you some time to get here.
Mike, my daughter, literally texted me, "Hey, you're on Brian Craig today."
Oh, you forgot about me.
I did.
Wouldn't be the first.
She's honest, yeah.
Wouldn't be the first here.
I wouldn't lie to you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Hey man, I watched the whole Trump thing yesterday.
Oh, it was great.
He is so freaking smart.
Oh my gosh.
So smart. I mean, the stuff, and what's funny? He's right about everything.
Yeah, that's the thing.
There's no BS, it's totally correct,
Did you have anywhere you wanted to go today? I had a couple of ideas I was going to throw, but
whatever you want.
Okay.
I mean, what I wanted to talk about was just interest rates, because interest rates are going to go down. Kind of boring, but you know what? It plays into that 10% bonus thing.
Okay.
So we can talk about that. And whatever else. Any questions?
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good.
We should still be good with the mic, but I remember what happened last time.
Oh yeah. Well, you'll hear it right away. The speakers, right?
Yeah. So I'm gonna stand by and be ready.
So I was listening this morning. You're not going to go to California then, or you just?
I'm decide after the show.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I used to live in California as a kid.
Yeah.
And they've been getting those fires forever, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's either that or mudslides.
This one's really bad though in the area where I'm going to be, so that's the problem.
Yeah.
I mentioned you last time. If you want me to guest on your show sometime, just let Mike know and he'll set it up.
I want to do that. I would love to do that. Yes.
Yeah, I don't mind doing it at all.
What about this Friday?
Well, I may not be here this Friday because if I go, but any other Friday other than this one would be great.
We're always in at 11, so we'll come in at 9:15, whatever time.
What about a week from Friday?
Yeah, whatever you want.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds good to me. Yeah. I'll have Jenny do it.
Okay, yeah, with Mike, and he'll let me know.
You got it.
All right, we're back.
And Craig, celebrating 48 years on the air.
All right, and we are back in studio. Is Joe Thomas? Hey, Joe.
Good morning.
How you doing? Oh yeah, I know. It's hard to believe it's here already, huh?
Crazy, man. 2025.
A couple things I wanted to talk to you about, and then there was one or two things you wanted to bring up as well. I was kind of wondering, because everybody has a different retirement goal. So are there, and I know what people want in the retirement probably has to do with what, income bracket they're in their work life, but what are some of the things that people, when they're retiring that are different income levels, what do they tell you they're looking for?
Most of them want a guaranteed income stream. Quite honestly, they want to know that they have another source besides Social Security. If you're just counting on Social Security, it's a problem.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Even a high-end net worth earner, they want to have another revenue stream too?
Yeah, they either want growth or they want income or they want a combination of both.
Yeah.
That's what we kind of put together a plan. It doesn't matter how much assets you have, it's how much money you want to put away to make sure it's there for you in the future.
Yeah.
That's what retirement is. Put
Yeah.
your money away now so you have it later, or you have an income stream. The key to it though, Brian, is not running out of money. That's the biggest fear people have. Either they're going to get sick or they're going to live too long and run out of money.
Well, when people go and plan it alone, it's disastrous because listen. You go to a lawyer, you go to a doctor. You don't handle things yourself. You need a financial advisor. You need a retirement advisor. And most people I know, when they retire, this is what they do. If they do it on their own, okay, I need however amount of money a month to pay my bills, and then I'm okay. I can go out to, but people are living along. I got a call yesterday from a guy who's 94 years old.
Wow.
And he's driving for Uber.
Wow.
I don't know if I'd want to get in that drive that guy,
Yeah.
but but people are living a long time, and the things you can't factor in are things that happen when you live a long time. Inflation.
Yeah.
What's going on with these condo assessments in Florida is destroying
Oh my
people.
God. Unbelievable. A guy came in my office yesterday. He's an inspector, a building inspector. He told me he just told the condo association $100,000 per unit it's going to cost them.
Yeah, and you might say, well, I'm going to sell it. Well, good luck.
And where are you going to go?
Yeah. Where are you going to go? And there's a building in Fort Lauderdale. These people thought they had $1 million condos. Now,
not anymore.
It's condemned.
Yeah,
So they're real estate's supposed to always be good. That's why last time you were here, I was asking you, instead of a condo, is it better maybe to have an annuity?
Yeah.
Now, you were telling me that this just blew me away. And if you could explain this again, because this is, annuities sell themselves, and not very many things do that. I know a lot of people say, oh, it sells itself. It is true with annuities because your money's not at risk.
Right.
Which is amazing to me, that you could take money, you could invest it in something, and you're not risking anything. I mean, could you imagine if you could do that at the track? You'd be at the track all day, right?
Exactly.
That's amazing. You can generate income and have another revenue stream when you're retired. So you're not risking any money. You've got a revenue stream, which is amazing. But talk about this bonus you were telling me about. And this just freaked me out. This was amazing.
So let's talk about interest rates real quick. They're going to go down. First of all, the Federal Reserve says they're going to lower interest. They went way up high. So anybody that's getting 5% is going to be getting 2% soon. Now, President Trump also likes low interest rates. Why? He's a real estate guy. He doesn't want you to go out and take a loan out for 7 or 8%. He wants them around 3%. So what that means for you, the saver and the investor and the retirement people, is you're going to get less income. You're going to get less money, less interest. So we have a deal right now. I have this plan myself, Brian, with my own money. I'll show anybody that wants to see it. 10% bonus up front. Put in $100,000, your new balance is now 110.
Oh my goodness.
Day one.
Wow.
Then we give you 8.25%. Build up. Every 12 months you're getting 8.25%. And you can take income for the rest of your life after 12 months for you and your spouse, guaranteed forever. There's nothing like it on the market. That's why I purchased it myself.
It almost sounds too good to be true.
I understand.
I mean, if I didn't know you, if you were just some guy I was meeting off the street, I was like, there's no way, Joe.
Right. Well, you have to understand, I call it velvet handcuffs. The insurance companies tie you up, and it's called the surrender charge. Don't cash it in and you won't have a fee.
Yeah.
That's the biggest problem with the news. And we disclose all that when we see you in person. We show you how it works, or we'll do it over the phone with anybody listening. But this is one of the #1 income annuities out there. And then if let's say you don't want income and you decide you want growth on it, you can take a cash value and decide to take money later. There's a lot of things that annuities do.
Yeah. Now, the thing with the extra revenue stream, because, in Florida, we have the oldest population. We have a lot of retired people. And sometimes I'll get a little nosy and ask people things. And, you've got another revenue stream. That means you can have a new car. You can lease a new car every year or every 3 years. You don't have to drive some old clunker, right? Things like that.
We don't have anybody telling us that they have too much income.
No.
I'm going to be honest. Most people don't have, including myself, including most people, they don't have enough income. How do you get it? Well, you either earn enough interest and pull interest out of your 401k or your IRA or whatever, or you're living off your money, your principal, and you're going to run out of money doing it this way. An annuity guarantees you income forever. It's a guarantee.
It's amazing.
Guarantee. There's nothing like it.
There's amazing, and a lot of times people that are retired, you have a home that's paid for. Well, you still gotta pay that insurance every year. You still gotta pay those yearly taxes. These are things you can't factor in if you're trying to plan a retirement on your own. And an extra revenue stream, you're right. I don't know anybody that doesn't want more money.
No.
I don't, you know, I mean, I know people that earn 6 figures a year that are paycheck to paycheck. People live within their means, right?
Absolutely.
All right, well, listen, Joe Thomas is offering free phone consultations, which you can take advantage of no matter where you are located. And when I talk about the free phone consultations, now, when someone takes advantage of the free phone consultation, you customize a proposal for them. So tell me a little bit about that.
Sure, so it's important that we know your age, what your goals are for the money. Is it for growth? Is it for income? Are you leaving it to your family? We want to make sure that they get the money. That's important. You know, years ago, when you bought an annuity, I'm talking years ago, grandpa's annuities, when you're in your 80s, years ago, they would not give you your money back. Well, those times have changed. Now you get every penny back and you can leave your family money if that's what you choose to do.
That's amazing.
So I want to know what your goals are for your money. Then we can tailor a plan to fit you specifically. When do you want income? At what age? We're going to ask you, what age do you want income? What age do you want your money back? These are all important steps. And then once we figure that out, we present. And by the way, we don't show one company. We have all the major companies. You've heard of Prudential, New York Life, John Hancock, all those companies we offer and we represent. That's why you come to me, because we're not married to one person. You know?
Yeah, that's true. Now, listen, if you're with a financial advisor or you have a 401k, your employer, Joe Thomas, he can take care of all of that and get it transferred. I know a lot. I talk to you about this a lot because it's very important. People are terrified to break up with their financial advisor where they're losing money.
Absolutely. And you know what? We do it for you. If you don't want to talk to your old guy or girl, I'll be politically correct for a moment, or whoever they are, we'll deal with them.
Yeah.
Okay? We'll have you sign one form that says, send us the money. And then when we get the money, we don't charge you for that either. We don't charge you any fees, by the way. There's no fees for this. The insurance company pays me a commission based on how much money you put in. Out of their pocket, not yours.
Oh, this is an amazing
It's
deal.
a win-win for you.
Now, this free phone consultation with Joe Thomas, there's a tremendous value of this, and let me explain why. You're a 5-time qualifying member of the $1 Million Roundtable, which is achieved by fewer than 1% of all financial advisors in the world. So you're getting not just a free phone consultation, you're getting a free phone consultation with the top man in the industry. And there's a lot of value just in that conversation. Give Joe a call. His number's 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. If you missed the number, you can get it on his website. It's easy to remember, JupiterJoe.com. That's JupiterJoe.com. All right, Joe, well, thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you soon.
Happy New Year.
All right, take care. All right, and we are back. If you're on hold, hang in there. Our number, 1-888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hey, Detroit Dave.
So nudist, not whore.
I'm sorry, I don't understand what you're saying.
Oh yeah, you don't understand what I'm saying.
thank you.
Oh yeah, that'll.
No, it's not that I don't. No, this is what I don't understand. Slow down for a second, okay? Have some respect. I mean, what kind of man are you? Would you consider yourself a gentleman?
A man that would not allow my to nude.
Excuse me. Do you consider yourself a gentleman? Maybe you don't. Maybe you think you're a lowlife. Oh, you think you're a gentleman. In what world does a gentleman use such inappropriate and vile language speaking about another man's wife? How can you call yourself a gentleman and use those words when speaking of another man's wife? I just don't understand.
What man would allow his wife to do that?
Well, first of all, the artistic photos that you're referencing, which were professional model photos that Melania did, this wasn't Playboy or Penthouse, those photos were before President Trump knew Melania.
So why would you marry somebody?
Why would you marry someone who's been naked? Have you ever been naked? I mean, there's a difference between, see, this is the deal with you. You're a pervert, and you're also not very educated, okay? You don't understand the difference between art and pornography. As an example, if you were to travel to Italy and look at the beautiful artwork of the Renaissance, how much of it is nude? Where like naked men with the penises. Nobody looks at that as pornography. It's beautiful art. Now maybe you would because you're a perv.
Oh, she's a, you're a cuck boy.
Oh, there. Okay, so there. Now, what happened with that? I knew that was coming. You know, remember Who Wants to Be a Millionaire with Regis Philbin? Remember that show? You know, and if you didn't know an answer, they had these lifelines. What happens a lot of times with liberal callers, their lifeline, they can't. They're looking like a fool. You know, when he said that in the beginning, he thought I was going to hang up on him. He didn't think I'd keep him on. So what he does is he does something that forces me to end the call, which is he used one of the words. And again, there's more than 7. You know, George Carlin. Maybe there were only 7 words when George Carlin was alive with that routine, but you know, these leftists have maybe added some words to the vocabulary in the dictionary since then. But his lifeline, which is a lifeline that liberals use quite often, is profanity, forcing me to discontinue the call. You know, I got to tell you, if it was Hillary Clinton who was naked, okay, that would be pretty bad. But there's something called art, and photos can be artistic. And there's nothing about those photos in question that are anything other than beautiful works of art. No doubt about it. All right, our number 1-888-465-2631. You know, what's really scary to me about calls like that, and it always is when I hear from people like that, this isn't the Howard Stern show where you have, you know, this is a, you know, if you're listening to this show, you're a grown-up, right? You're an adult. You're mature. You're somewhat educated at least. When I mean educated, I don't mean a college degree. I'm just talking about knowledgeable and educated as the way the world goes. And when somebody calls in like that, using those words and descriptions, it's just, it's a mental patient is what we're dealing with. All right, we'll be right back. All right, and it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, how are the metals looking this morning?
Looking good. Continuing their rally after yesterday. We saw gold trade in a range yesterday of $2,632 on the low to $2,665 on the high, closing out the day up $12.20 at $2,648.30. Silver was up 11 cents at $30. Platinum was up $15 at $9.48. And palladium was up $11 at $914. The rally continues this morning as we saw gold traded overnight in a range of $26.43 up to $26.61. And right now we're at $26.57, up $8.70. Silver, $30.05 the ounce, that's up a nickel. Platinum up $2 at $950, and palladium down $6 at $908. So gold $26.57, still a great value, $100 under the all-time highs, or a little bit more than $100 under the all-time highs. So a great still bargain opportunity.
Absolutely. And how is a pre-33 gold? You were talking a few weeks ago. You were talking about what great bargains. Is pre-33 gold a good buy right now?
Pre-33 gold is at the lowest premiums we've seen in the 60 years I've been in business.
Really?
It's just a fabulous opportunity to buy, and you can get beautifully graded and encapsulated and authenticated $20 gold pieces today at record low premiums.
Really?
Prices. They're just fabulous buys right now, and we do have them in stock, and they're just a great opportunity to own something that's 100 years old or more, and something that represents our history in the gold times of our country when our money was backed by hard assets of gold and silver. So, yep, great opportunity to own some of these pieces of history.
Yeah, and that's amazing. And, and the pre-33 gold is gold, and they don't make that anymore. They haven't made it since before 1933. I mean, that's a great deal. And it's very interesting because I've never heard you say before about the graded pre-33. I've never heard you even talk about great deals on those before. That's amazing. So this is the first. All right, listen, give William Youngerman a call, and if you're not into pre-33 gold, stop in and have William Youngerman show it to you. It'll blow you away. You'll fall in love with it. And those of you that are pre-33 gold people, you understand the significance of what William Youngerman just said. It's amazing. So load up. William Youngerman opens up at 10 a.m. You can stop in at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca, on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1, Federal Highway, on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. Give him a call, toll-free, 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010. And on his website, you can find both his phone number and address, williamyoungerman.com. All right, William Youngerman, take care. We'll talk later in the week. All right, and we are back. I'm not sure if I have Steve. Steve, are you back with us? I did not know you were there. I apologize. I thought we had lost you. It has not been that long. You just couldn't hear. It was... No, it is not. It is not. It may seem that way to you. I thought we lost our connection with you. But we didn't. No. You just couldn't hear. I'm telling you, Steve. I'm telling you. I wanted to finish up, though, on a couple of things. There was a story yesterday. I'm not going to play the audio because it goes on a bit. I'm just going to tell you about it. But CNN, they did a poll of their people about January 6th. And I was watching CNN on Sunday, and they said 40% of the people believe that Donald Trump led an insurrection. They did a poll, and people overall surveyed, which includes all political backgrounds. That includes liberal lunatics like that guy I was just talking to. Only 5% of people care about January 6th. Only 5%, and that includes their liberal lunatics. Only 5%. They've spent 4 years selling something that they've only been able to sell to 5% of their own people. And when I saw them report that on CNN, I think there's some self-awareness going on, even among the left, that they can't get a narrative going anymore. They have no influence. They can't lie to people anymore. And I think there's a lot of confusion in the liberal mainstream media on where to go. When I see a story like that on CNN, that's fantastic. I mean, you think about where we were on today's January 8th, 2025. Where were we on January 8th 4 years ago? And where we've come. And there has been 4 years around the clock, every day, even on Christmas mornings, calling Trump an insurrectionist, calling Trump a criminal, calling him all of these things. And he wasn't just reelected. The majority of people in the country, even according to CNN's own polls, are on his side on pretty much everything. And out of every election that's taken place in my lifetime, and there's been some big wins, and there's been some movements like the Contract for America with Newt Gingrich and everything else, I've never seen a change like this with an election. Have you? You've been around for more of them than me. A change of the country's direction?
It's very dramatic and very unusual, no question of that.
Oh, yeah. And, I was watching yesterday the Jimmy Carter, taking him to the Capitol. And this is not the first president. The presidential funeral is coming up. It's going to be in Plains, Georgia. And President Trump said he's going. And I really am not interested in watching Jimmy Carter's funeral. I mean, he hates Jews. He was a terrible person. Yeah, he was a terrible person, Jimmy Carter. I'm sorry. I mean, I know he deserves some, the honors because he was a president. But one of the biggest anti-Semites that's ever been in the White House. He's just a terrible person. But I'm going to watch every second of it, of the funeral, because President Trump's going to be there. And I'm going to look to see how they treat him. When I mean they, I mean the other presidents. And I'm going to see if they're dismissive of him like they have been. When Melania went to Rosalind Carter's funeral and with the other first ladies, and they were so nasty to Melania, the other first ladies. Now I understand the ladies are jealous of her beauty and all of that. I get that. But there was even more disrespect of her. because her last name's Trump. And I'm curious to see, when President Trump went to Notre Dame, he was treated with the respect that he's entitled to, right? And I want to see if they treat him in Plains, Georgia, the way they treated him at Notre Dame.
I think they made the election. They're just any people who were halfway neutral on this that haven't found a home yet. Happening.
Yeah.
Is creating huge empathy for
Yeah.
the president.
Well, he is the president. He is. Well, 12.
Joe Biden has showed us what damage can be done in a short time when you got an irresponsible jerk of a president like Biden.
Well, and the president-elect periods have not been like this. The president-elect periods have not been so eventful. Like this, this speaker vote that happened on Friday. That happens every presidential elect period, because that's when the new Congress always comes in before. I have no recollection of any other speaker vote having anything to do with a president-elect before, but this one did. Trump got it on the first vote. He made a call, and that was it. Never seen that before. We're in a new era, and those of you that are MAGA who have stood by President Trump during these last 4 years, when people like Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis betrayed and abandoned him, good for you. I mean, that's just, you did the right thing. DeSantis? Oh. Yeah, she's out. No, she burned her bridges. DeSantis has one last play of glory, and that's his Senate pick, because he gets to pick. Marco will resign after he's confirmed. You got to play it. Doesn't want to resign before he's confirmed, just in case he doesn't get confirmed. But DeSantis he's got one last hurrah, and that's appointing the replacement for Marco Rubio. But you know what, Steve? He could appoint Jeb Bush. It would not surprise me if he appointed Jeb Bush. I would not be shocked. Would not be shocked. Now, if you're on hold, hang in there. I want to talk about the free doorbell camera offer from Slomin's. This is really an amazing device to have on your home, because the free doorbell camera from Slomin's connects directly to your cell phone. You get a notification on your phone every time there's movement at your door, and you can just look at your phone and see who and what is there. And they're going to give you a free doorbell camera with the installation of your Slomin's Shield. Slomin's is also going to give you a free customized home security system and professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. You get an LED touchscreen, a motion detector, 10 contacts for the doors and windows, a lifetime warranty, a backup battery, and a free doorbell camera with the installation of your Slomin's Shield. Give them a call right now. I have this camera. You will love it. I promise you. 1-833-283-5050. 1-833-283-5050. That's 1-833-283-5050. All right, we just got a couple minutes left. I'm still deciding if I'm going to go to law. I'm going to decide after the show. I'm going to call the boss, which means my wife, and get her opinion. And I'm going to decide after the show whether I'm going to Los Angeles or not. But you guys will find out tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. If we're here live, that means I'm here.
Pro control of the fire.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound like a good time to go. San Diego's nowhere near the fires.
It just the guy called from San Diego
And
declared it a disaster.
San Diego?
Yes.
I didn't hear that.
Didn't you get a call from?
That doesn't mean it was declared a disaster area. He was telling me about Los Angeles. Oh, did he? I missed that. He was telling me, I thought he was telling me about LA. I don't know. But I do know this. I saw Mike Rowe from Dirty Jobs. He just landed at LAX, and he took a picture and put it on Twitter, and all I could see behind him was flames at the airport that I'm scheduled to fly into today. So I don't. I could use a couple days off though. But it could be longer than that. I could get. My wife told me this morning. She said you could get stuck out there, and not be able to fly out. And we don't want that to happen. Well, I'll decide this morning, and it's just getting started. It's not going to settle down anytime soon. Yeah, the fire's not going to. It's just starting. But I do have a lot of confidence. Steve. Well, I know everything's under control because the city of Los Angeles has the first LGBTQ plus lesbian fire chief. And as long as we get the check marks on the DEI hire list checked, who cares if it burns down, right? And, no pressure in the fire hydrants, so the fire hydrants aren't working, as long as we've got the check marks checked, another check mark checked. Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Yeah, come on. We're, social justice. Then worry about people's homes and businesses and lives. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Gavin Newsom. This morning, because I was my daughter was texting me last night, and it was 1:30 in the morning, but only 10:30 at night for her. And so I got up and I called her and we were talking, and I was reading the news, and they said Gavin Newsom had not mobilized the National Guard. He's still sleeping. And I'm like, well, first off, it's 10:30 at night. And the state's on fire, and he's sleeping. I'm up worried about it more than Gavin Newsom, right? And I'm like, Governor. Yeah, 10:30 at night, he should still be up. And then so Gavin Newsom's sleeping. We've got the first LGBTQ plus fire chieftain, and the mayor of Los Angeles. Did you see what she was doing? She's in Africa, at the swearing in of some government official in some African country, while LA burns. Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Well, listen, we're out of time for today. I think it's safe to say I'm probably not going to go, right? If I don't get dinged on the airline ticket.
Think you'll not go?
Yeah, but it could be, it could be interesting. I probably will not go. We'll figure it out. Well, listen, you'll find out at 6 a.m. tomorrow. If we're here live, that means I'm here. If there's a best of, it means I may be burning up. Who knows? It's the Steve. Yeah, that's right. With the LGBTQ plus DEI fire chief. All right, it's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We'll be back probably tomorrow live at 6 a.m. Take care.
WSFS 104.3 HD3 Miramar. WFL.
All right. If you are new, make sure you subscribe, all right? And if you're already subscribed, please like the video.